Yo, Thought Warriors. What is up? Higher Learning is on. It is I, Van Lathan Jr.
And it's me, Rachel and Lindsay.
Yo, we got Jay Pharoah on the show today.
It's going to be a good conversation.
Surprising interview with Jay Pharoah to me.
When we had him on the last time, I can't remember what we were talking about, but it wasn't this conversation.
Well, he's in person this time. He changed the energy.
Well, yeah, but we still do good interviews.
Rachel, are you familiar with the game 82-0?
I'm not.
I'm playing it right now.
Well, hello. What?
So this is a game.
Turn your computer around.
That has gone viral where you are given, I swear to God, guys, I'm in no way being paid by these people. It's such a shame you have to say this. So this is how the game works. You are given, so I play hoop IQ.
Basketball.
Right. So you're given a team.
Okay.
Right? It starts off ATL in the 60s. You spin. So it's like you're trying to build a team that would go 82-0, that wouldn't lose a basketball game.
Oh, wow.
So from Utah in the 90s, who do you choose? Well,
okay.
So unfortunately for everybody that's like listening right now, I got to play the game. And if you have a choice from Utah in the 90s, the first person that you're going to choose to put at power forward is Karl Malone. I'm sorry. The game don't know about different shit that happened.
No.
Okay, I'm trying to win the fucking game. Okay, so then I spin again, right? And it gives me Milwaukee in the 2010s. Now, here's the thing. Milwaukee in the 2010s, you can go one of two ways here. All right? If you spin again, because you can also change the team once and you can change the era once.
Okay.
Now, I could put Giannis on that bitch. Right? I could put Giannis on it. Milwaukee in the 2010s. But I'm not going to do that. I'll tell you why.
You want that position open.
If I have Milwaukee, there's somebody else I could get from the 70s that's better than Giannis in the 2010s.
Yeah.
And that would be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I'm aware.
Look, I'm not, Rachel, I didn't mean it that way.
But how do you know you're going to, because it spins again, how do you know you're going to get 70s?
I don't know, which is why I'm just going to go ahead and pick Giannis. Now, here's the thing, though. I have to be honest with you.
Can I ask you a question? Does it give you how Giannis played in that era? Or does it, or is it just like.
Here's the deal.
Okay.
Two different versions of the game. One game gives you statistics, the other one doesn't. Giannis played a lot of years and got off to a slower start.
I ask good questions.
Right, there you go. So his overall for the 2010s might not be as hard as niggas think it is, but we're going to go with Giannis anyway because I don't feel like spinning it right now. Because since Giannis is already there, I don't feel like spinning it again to try to get another fucking player. And also something else about Giannis that you have to consider. Giannis has so many different positions on here that if I get another player, I can move Giannis around to a different spot.
Okay, so you can move because he's in multiple positions. Okay.
Right. So
I can see how you can get addicted to this game, by the way.
It's over.
Yeah,
it's done.
I can see it.
Right now, I have Karl Malone,
kind of into
but
it.
I put Giannis at center right now.
Is it free?
Huh?
Is it free?
It's free. It's free. But I can also put Giannis at small forward. I can do whatever I want. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
So how do you know? So, okay, once you build your team, how do you know you go 82-0?
The computer tells you after you click the last player.
Oh, okay.
So right now I got.
This is also a great way for people to learn the game of basketball. By the way,
I think so.
Like
I think
learn
it's
like
fun.
Players and stuff like that. Yeah.
Donnie,
history.
is Donnie there?
I am. Yeah.
Donnie, I got Detroit in the 20s. I gotta be honest with you. I feel like I want to change the team right here.
You do.
You trying to go to Detroit in the 80s?
Well, no, I want to change the team.
Oh, you want to change the team? Sorry, I heard what you heard, Donnie.
Oh no, don't do that. Yeah. Don't change the team. Go
change
Cade.
the era
and
put Cade in there. Right now, I got Cade, Karl Malone, and Giannis. I guess that's straight. Cade's numbers
either change
are
the
good.
era or go Cade. Yeah.
Okay, let's go Cade. Let's see
he
how this
said
team.
Put some respect on Detroit. I'm with you, Donnie. There were you could have got another.
I'm telling you, if I would have changed the team and I got like Luka or somebody like that, we out of here. We out of here if I do that. But I'm going with Donnie because Donnie loves fucking. Oh, my name is Donnie. I love Detroit. That's how you sound. So I'm gonna keep that. Okay, we're gonna spin again. So far we got Karl Malone at power forward. We got Giannis at center. But we can still move Giannis around.
How is this smart as the computer? Because what if it gave you like Oklahoma City 90s? And then you get nobody.
That happens all the time.
But then you have to waste a team or an era.
Rachel, this is the game. Do you know how many of these franchises ain't shit?
No,
like
or didn't exist?
Well, no.
That was my point.
Well,
it'll give you Seattle.
Seattle Sonics.
It would have done. So it would do that.
Right. So
okay.
No, all the players are for the franchise.
Okay,
so the team name is like, so you might be Brooklyn, but it's
got you.
the Jersey Nets. I see what you mean. I misunderstood your question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm spinning again. Bam! A boombata! Brooklyn in the 20s. Guess what? Great pick. Do you know why? Kevin fucking Durant. That's who I'm putting on this bitch. We have the chance right now, legitimately, to go 82-0. Like, let me go to KD. KD Durant. That's his fucking name. Kevin fucking Durant. Rachel knows him. So let's see here.
You can't find him on there?
Here he is right here. Kevin Durant. Okay, so far right now, live. Y'all think I'm bullshitting. I'm not going to turn my computer around. Live. I have Giannis, Karl Malone, Cade Cunningham, and Kevin Durant. I still have both my team and my era switch available.
Yeah, you got it.
All right, Donnie, I'm going to spin one last time here. Detroit in the 70s. Can't fuck with it, okay? The question is, I have both a team and an era switch. Should I switch the team or should I switch the era? There's really no one else from Detroit that can help me. I'm going to be honest with you.
All right, switch the
Which
team.
position is open again?
So small forward is open.
But you could move some of your players.
I could move Giannis to small forward. I can move KD to small forward, right? What I really want is a bomb-ass center. If I could fuck with like Wilt or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I'm going to go 82-0.
So change the team.
I'm going to go 82-0. So, but I need Wilt from the 70s.
Malone, Cade, Kevin Giannis. Okay, yeah.
Okay, or I need Jabbar from the 70s. So let's change the team.
That's what I said. Yeah, change the team.
We need Milwaukee. We need Milwaukee.
You already got it, so he's not getting it again.
We need Milwaukee. Let's go. Team change. Milwaukee. Indiana. Okay.
Oof.
Oh, wait a minute, though.
In the 70s, though?
Alex English. This team could rock.
Do it.
Alex English. But do I change the era? Do I go with Alex English and put him in because this nigga was bomb? Or do I change the era? Who else?
But you want a big man.
Well, now it's just about what's left because if there's no center from Indiana that's really going to help me because they got Rick Smith in that bitch. Okay, so that's the only one. So I feel like I got to kind of rock, right? Because I can't change the team. Changing the era, what's the best player I can get from the history of Indiana?
That's a center?
No, well, I mean, it's small forward left, so I could still get like Reggie.
I was gonna say Reggie.
Jermaine O'Neal.
Well, what I'm saying is, I'm looking at all of these people. So, what do you think? Do I go with Alex English, who I know had crazy numbers in the '70s, was one of the best?
Just do it. Go for it. We gotta go.
Boom. Nah, that shit was whack.
What did they give you?
Man,
what did they give
English
you?
was more of an '80s player, man. I got fucked in the.
What did they give you?
All of this shit was fucked up.
What was the
66 and 16? This team.
Oh wow, is that one of the worst ones you've had?
It's not one of the worst ones. It's actually not.
It's the best one.
Okay, let me tell you, it's not one. I went 82-0.
Who was your team?
My team, my 82-0.
Did you see how he looked at me when he said
don't play around
82-0? like he himself went 82. Like he was actually on the team.
So hold on for a second. Really, you know who hurt me?
Who?
Giannis hurt me. Giannis is only really useful from the 2020s.
Which one? But I didn't know which game you were playing. If it was based on where they were during that time, because you said there were two versions. So I just
my 82-0 is my 82-0 was. Now we can get to the podcast after this. You guys, you know what? Don't judge us for getting into different shit like this. Play the fucking game. The game is fun. Donnie played. Donnie, what's the best you ever went?
80-2. Close.
Yeah,
that's good.
Who was on your 80-2 team?
I had Trae Young, Michael Jordan, Adrian Dantley, Jimmy Butler, and Kareem.
Okay, so
there's an NFL version.
Yeah, the NFL version.
That's tough. That's a lot of people on the team. That's tough.
So my 82-0 was. Hold on for a second. My 82-0 was Luka Doncic at point guard, Mitch Richmond at shooting guard, Michael Jordan at small forward, Chris Webber at power forward, and this is the cheat code. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar from the Milwaukee 1970s at center. To win the game, you pretty much almost have to have Kareem from the 70s or Wilt from the 60s. You get Wilt from the 60s, you could put Rui Hachimura out there. For some reason, the game doesn't love Wilt Chamberlain like that. This bitch has been taking up a lot of my time.
I can see why.
I love this type of shit.
I mean, we just played it on the podcast. That was an excuse for you to get one more in this morning. Yeah. I'm not mad at it, though. I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, I might play this game.
I think that the Ringer should do a game like this, and I have an idea. I have a pitch. This is the game. We should do...
Maybe you should save it.
No, because they're not going to do it.
Yeah, you're about to put it out there.
But they're not going to do it anyway, so I might as well share it with the people. All right? They're not going to do it anyway. Because remember the movie grid game I talked about years ago? So much fucking fun. Shout out to the movie grid guys.
I don't remember
the movie grid game. The Ringer should do a Ewing theory game.
Okay.
And the way that this game will work, are you familiar with Bill's Ewing theory? You guys know it?
No.
So Bill has the Ewing theory, and it's like a team loses their best player, and somehow they become better. Like Patrick Ewing got hurt in 99, the Knicks went to the finals. What they should do is take an all-time great team, then have you remove their best player, and then build a team of people from that same era that could beat that team with the best player. Like a Ewing theory type game.
That's fun.
It's a fun game. Like take the 2000 Lakers, take Shaq off the 2000 Lakers. Then you got to build a team of those Lakers that could beat that team without Shaq. Maybe you fuck up something, you do a couple of different, whatever. A game like that. Fuck it. Maybe that sucks. But you do a game. We should have our own game. I want our own game. We should have a game.
Great. We'll build a higher learning game.
We the basketball motherfuckers. Why we don't have no game?
Talk to Bill.
Marc Caputo is also going to join us today to talk about
the War Powers Resolution.
War Powers Resolution and stuff like that. So we got a lot of stuff going on right now. Let's get into that. Let's get into politics, though. Let's get into the LA mayoral race.
Yeah. In the latest results, the gap between Spencer Pratt and City Council member Nithya Raman slightly narrowed, but Pratt continues to hold a sizable lead. That's for the number 2 spot. Karen Bass has already secured her position in the November ballot.
Any surprises for you now? You know, a lot of these prediction markers, do you pay attention to that shit?
Here and there.
Kalshi, fucking all of that. For some reason,
the yes, everybody's markets, making money off of this with Kalshi.
Yeah, fuck all that dumbass shit. But like everybody is, they're bullish on Raman being second. All the prediction markets have her right now. She's up on Kalshi at least up to 71% now. Just so people know, we voted on Tuesday, but just like
what's the percentage of the precincts that are in?
I think it's like 62.
That's what I see last, but this also says it was updated 18 hours ago. So
well, I mean, they're still counting votes.
Yeah.
So Spencer Pratt and Karen Bass were the 1 and the 2. It always takes California a long time to count their votes. I know specifically a lot of people that voted mail-in. They dropped ballots, and there were a lot of Raman voters that were in there.
And I think also, well, 1, there was a lot of strategy behind voting for Raman for people, and then 2, I guess. And I did live here then. What am I saying? When it was Caruso and Bass, there was a big change at the end with all the votes, like 7 points or something like that. So,
the governor's race seems to be less controversial. It seems pretty evident in the governor's race that the top 2 will be Steve Hilton and Xavier
But
Becerra.
Why is that? I'm looking and I see only 56% are in. Is it based on which percentages precincts are in? Because 56%, I feel like there could still be a change. You know, if we're talking about what I just gave the example of Caruso and Bass in the last mayoral race, then why couldn't Steyer get a 7-point jump or something like that?
They would have to break for him pretty dramatically, but I guess it's the same thing with Raman. So now what's going to happen is this. If in fact Spencer Pratt did not make the top 2, all of the rich asshole crybabies that are backing him are going to claim some sort of voter fraud.
Trump's already doing it, by the way.
They're already dipping into that. If Spencer Pratt does get into the top 2, so be it. You run the race, and then you have a long time until November. Things quiet down probably in the summer, and then they ratchet back up around the fall. People normally take a break from this shit during the summer, and then they come back. Do you have a problem though with the way the slowness of California is vote counting?
Why don't I remember it being this slow last
always
time?
is.
I know, but I just don't remember it. I mean, I think the slowness gives room for people to criticize voting here. Like I said, Trump's already claiming voter fraud. And it's like, why is it always so slow in California? Oh, they must be up to something. It just gives more fuel to the conspiracy theories of voter fraud and all of that, and California being corrupt for those people who choose to believe it. So like, yeah, of course I would. I mean, the fact that it's June 4th, we're 2 days past it, and we're still talking about maybe this person, maybe not. Like, I'd rather it just be us know in the morning. The morning of the next day.
I would say, though, that there's a part of me that believes that the reason why the vote counts are so slow is so that the process can be more thorough. A lot of people voting.
Look at you optimist.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that there's widespread, rampant voter
Oh,
fraud.
I don't think that at all. I think it just gives room for people to try to say that. But yeah, I think you're right. Also, the provisional ballot is a real thing. And like, because I saw some MAGA influencer saying he was able to vote, drove in, was able to vote, doesn't live here. And people are like, well, one, you didn't actually show yourself going through the process. You could literally just be holding up a sticker. But two, it's a provisional ballot. They're going to thoroughly check you out and make sure you actually live here.
Right.
Hence the word provisional. And three, thank you for just admitting to everybody that you committed voter fraud. And everybody was sending his info to the Secretary of State.
Prosecute him in jail. Some of these changes are post-COVID. They wanted to make sure that they gave everybody an opportunity to vote. If you are a registered voter in California, you get a mail-in ballot. Everybody gets a mail-in ballot. The ballots, all those ballots are valid. Ballots are valid as long as they're postmarked by Election Day. So it is not just, something that you can do. Voting by mail and dropping ballots in California is something that seems to be prioritized here. So, after COVID, we want to make sure that everybody could participate in that stuff. Some of those changes came in. And so now we are basically counting votes that people cast different times. The question is, reaching for the words. Said a lot of words to Jay Pharoah. The question is whether or not those votes are going to break for Rahman and for Steyer in order to make it Democrat versus Democrat in November. Even still, though, even if they did,
if they get in, or what?
It does seem like, not just from a counting of the vote standpoint, it seems like culturally, California is more open to red leadership than they've ever been before. There's cultural movements. Let's say that the voters don't reflect this, but there seems to be a cultural shift that is making both Hilton and Pratt more viable as candidates in California.
Do you think it's a cultural shift towards Republicans to the red, or do you think it's just a cultural shift in distrust for the government, not having candidates, that people feel are so strong? A lot of people feel like they thought Kamala Harris was going to run, then she didn't. They thought maybe one of the senators would run. They didn't, for governor, I'm talking about. And then they felt like they had a cast of candidates who they weren't really confident in, who they weren't really excited about. If that's the cultural shift you're talking about, I feel more of that. I feel more people are not happy with the options that they have. They're not as excited. And whether that's the people as an individual, whether that's parties, a distrust of that, or whether that's just a distrust of government in general, I'm not sure. That's the shift I see, more than I see it more towards the red.
Well, you're definitely right. Shift is, in the way that I mean it, just means a change, a shift, whatever. You're definitely right. I don't know. It's difficult for me to kind of, judge or litigate certain people's priorities because you never know what they really are. So I talked about before that here in California, people are saying that this is a red mirage that's happening right now. But I happen to believe that in California there is a blue mirage. There is a progressive mirage that exists in parts of this state. Particularly in Los Angeles, where I do believe that there are a lot of pissy, whiny, rich assholes who they refuse to put anything in context, so much so that they don't even put their vote in context, right? Because if you were looking to change in Los Angeles, the next thing wouldn't just, this is the thing that always gets me about, like, you vote for change. You do vote for change. You vote for change. But it still matters what the change is.
Of course.
Right? It still matters what the change is. What are you changing to? So if you think that crime is running rampant in California, the question is not whether or not you should change to a candidate that is tougher on crime or that has, what are you changing to? Have you heard anything from Pratt, any plan from Pratt that makes you believe that Spencer Pratt can execute what it is that he's saying he's doing? And so
concepts.
Concepts of, like, but like, to me, that's what I look at. So
of course,
everybody that's making videos in front of their house talking about how fucking bad shit is. That was Doug Ellen from.
I was trying to figure out who he was
from Entourage. Entourage, great show.
Okay, I've seen that video. Yes,
but the video very impassioned. He's up there talking his shit and talking about what him and his neighbors are going through, and I get all of that. He lives in Beverly Hills, so the question is, what have you heard that makes you believe that the person that you are supporting can get this stuff done? And the reason why I ask that question is because those are the questions that you're supposed to ask,
of course,
of a public servant. We actually get bad public servants because people, number one, don't follow through with the things that they say they're going to do, but also because people vote on vibes.
Yeah.
They vote on anger. They vote on emotion. So, with everyone that's voting for these candidates, Hilton's a little different, but everyone that's voting for these candidates, I haven't heard them make a compelling case as for what Spencer Pratt's going to do to clean up the streets.
No, it's just a very anti-Karen Bass, and that's literally the narrative they're running on, and that's why people like talk about Spencer's success on social media, because that some of that campaign and that messaging, people are, it's permeating throughout, I guess, the conversations that are with the type of people that are standing behind him, because they are repeating some of his same talking points without there being any depth behind it. I think one of the most infuriating things to me when I saw that video of the person that you were talking about, and he's not alone, is obviously your house is broken into, you're upset, you want, it's personal for you, there's a difference, but are you aware at all that Karen Bass heavily supports funding the police and believes we don't have enough? Like, I just don't understand why people are like, got to get her out of there, as if she's not a person who like fully supports. That's why the union was against her the last time. Now the union's for her. So I just don't understand. And when I talk to people, because I got to talk to Billy Bush.
Billy, you
guys were tagging me all in the video. Don't worry, I saw it. I've talked to Billy in a couple of weeks when I get back from traveling.
Bill Bush.
When I talk to people and they say, well, like the crime is just everywhere. And then I tell them how Karen Bass supports it. They're like, oh, I didn't know that. So then my messaging, I guess, to, Karen Bass's campaign is, y'all got to figure out how to step into 2026 with social media in the way that we saw, and get creative with it to where your messaging lands and people are using your talking points, like we saw with Donnie. He was very creative in what he did. Spencer Pratt is as well. And because I just don't understand why people don't know that. I just don't, like, that's so simple.
Your friend is a dick rider.
Oh, Billy? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing with him. So
we're going to talk about it.
I listened to Billy Bush talk about, and that's okay. It's like,
he was real excited to talk to the cameras.
He said that Spencer Pratt is
don't
like
repeat
Barack
it.
Obama.
Spencer Pratt has, and that is a talking point. Spencer Pratt said that a month ago on camera.
Barack Obama was a constitutional law professor and the editor of the Harvard Law Review, and both a state senator and a U.S. senator. Spencer Pratt is not like Barack Obama. Spencer Pratt came from the hills, and I'm not in any way like, hey, reality show people, shout out to them. We know a lot of reality show. Hey, reality show people, the TMZ, this is TMZ guy. I'm not in any way I'm not bona fides and all of this appeal to authority shit. I'm just saying that he's like Barack Obama is dick riding. And I know that Billy Bush is a dick rider because I heard him with one of the most breathtaking dick rides that has ever happened. And of course, that was on the Access Hollywood tape where Donald Trump was bragging about being able to assault people. And Billy Bush was like, yeah, get him, Donnie. Yeah, score one for the Trumpster. Okay. So that's how he was being on that bitch. And you guys, I'm not making this personal.
No,
like whatever. I'm not making this personal. I'm just saying, that
happened.
That was something that happened. So like, and a lot of this, going back to it, has nothing to do with actual policy. It has nothing to do with that stuff. It has to do with the class of people that are angry that their beloved playground, like I said before, is being sullied, and they want somebody to come in and crack a whip. And who better than this specific cracker to crack that whip? So to me, if any of this was based in something that I could intellectually wrap my mind around, I would get it. Like legitimately. Here are the numbers. Here's the problem. Here's the deal. This is how we attack it. But it's not. It's vibes voting. And this is kind of the way we got to the point that
is
we are
exactly
right now.
the way. It's not kind of. It's exactly the way. And what's interesting in that clip that I saw, and I'm going to talk about this to him, the interesting in the clip that I saw where he compares him to Barack Obama, he doesn't compare his resume. He doesn't say that they're aligned in that way. He says, I haven't seen anyone gather people together and rally them together and make them feel this kind of hope, right? Which was Barack Obama's messaging. And I sat there, I listened to that, and I'm like, only a white person would say that. Because you don't understand what that hope meant. It wasn't like, hope is not the thing that Spencer Pratt is even preaching out here or campaigning on. But you want to use the word hope to link him to Barack Obama. You don't understand what that hope actually meant in 2008. And that's why I say only a white person could say that, because for a black person, that hope was more than just policy and issues. It's what Barack Obama himself represented by stepping into that office, because of what a person like Barack Obama represented from the moment that black people came to this country. And like, that is how the conversation I will have with him. But like, it is highly offensive because you're taking something that was so meaningful to a certain community and it's so disconnected, and you're using a word and you're not even applying it the same way. And I think that's why I get so annoyed and passionate about it whenever I talk about the Spencer Pratt of it all, because it is so obvious, as we keep saying, that it's a particular community that is being served. I don't care if Spencer Pratt is saying that he's with the Crips or, down having conversation.
He down with the set?
He's apparently said he was with is it Rolling 60s?
Just be careful. Is it?
This is him claiming this.
Just saying,
So that he's like, oh yeah, bragging about it. He was on No Jumper talking about it or something like that. So
Spencer Pratt, he was on No Jumper saying he's down with the Rolling 60s.
He met with them.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if he used the word down, but he met with them. My point being is that he is not here to serve anybody else. So when you talk about hope, when you want to like use names like Barack Obama, like please be careful when you say that kind of stuff, because you're just talking in a very flippant way and not understanding the gravity of that kind of rhetoric. Yeah. And I'll talk to him about it. Yeah. I'll talk to him about it. Spencer Pratt blocked me, by the way.
There you go. I'm not offended by Spencer Pratt's run. I'm not offended by Billy Bush's support for Spencer Pratt. I'm not offended by any of it. I'm not offended by that comparison. None of it offends me. It's just some dick riding. And have to call it out as such. None of it offends me. None of this is the process. My issues with all of this stuff, I'm not about to, I understand everything that you're saying and nothing that I'm not going to hold water for Mayor Bass. Did not vote for her. Voted to the left of Mayor Bass, okay? I'm not going to even hold water for our beloved Barack Obama after all of this time. But the reality of Barack Obama's life is that Barack Obama had a life in public service. Barack Obama had a life dedicated to deep scholarship and intellectualism. Barack Obama had achieved elected office. He had earned his shot meteoric rise. I don't know if meteorically is a word. He had earned his shot at going for that office and got there with the country being in just fucked up enough of a state that people would be like, I'll give the nigga a chance. Okay? So all of that stuff is true of Barack Obama. Barack Obama did not walk off of a film set or a podcast to go try to be the president of the United States of America. Now, once again, if you were to do that, that is fine. Americans, this is not an appeal to authority. Americans saying, hey, I see shit being fucked up and wrong. I am now going to go and try to change that stuff for myself. I have no problem with that. I think that's a part of who we are and who we're supposed to be. What I do have a problem with all of the time is people getting to places because of the cut of their jib. That is white boy shit. People getting to places just because they can, like, whatever. That is white boy shit. That, to me, is something that is exclusively reserved for a certain segment of the population. I don't fuck with it. I need to hear from politicians actionable plans that they can put in that will change the substantive reality of people's lives, the substance of their life. And he doesn't even try to do that because he's got a bunch of dick riders and a bunch of people who look at him as basically a puppet for their class. That's just the way that I look at it.
I do not take offense to him running. I believe people should feel so frustrated and passionate about whatever it is that they stand on that it might cause them to like want to make a change and difference. I'm not mad at that. I'm not offended by that. I'm not offended by him throwing his name in the hat. I do get offended when you start making remarks like comparing the life of a Barack Obama to a Spencer Pratt. Because the fact that you can even fix your mouth to say that says a lot. That is offensive to me.
What you gonna say to Billy?
Some of what I just said now. But I'm gonna say you only a white person would say that. Oh, yeah. Because you have no understanding of.
No, Billy's gonna say to you.
What is Billy gonna say to me?
So you be yourself. I'm gonna be Billy.
Okay. Now, Billy, I saw what you said on camera about Barack Obama and how you believe that Spencer Pratt has some of the energy and is able to gather and corral people and make them feel hope, similar to our former president, Barack Obama. Now, Billy, only a white person would say that.
I'm not just any white person, though.
Well, who are you?
I know presidents. And let me tell you how I know presidents. I'm not sure if you realize, but I got presidents in my family. See, you think that you're going to come and talk to me, BB, and tell me about the president. Did you know that my cousin, H-Dub, was the president? Did you know that my other cousin,
his
W,
uncle,
was the president? Uncle, cousin, whatever. They were in the office. H-Dub got there. My cousin, W, got there. My other cousin, Jeb, would have got there, except for the fact that Trump, a guy that, hey, go Donnie. I don't know if you heard me talking to him. It's like, I apologize again to everyone. He would have got there, except for the fact that he was one of the worst political candidates that the right put up ever. Terrible. Had the personality of a rutabaga. Okay? But you don't tell me about presidents, little Miss Thang. My ancestors were on the Mayflower. You don't tell me about presidents. I eat Thanksgiving with presidents. I'm B motherfucking B. And if I say he's like Obama, then that's who he's like. Because deep down, you know that Obama is my nigga, meaning that I owned him. Okay.
Wow. Wow. I was like, how's this going to end?
Their ancestors were on the Mayflower, though. That's crazy to me. Yeah.
Is that a fact?
Yeah, the Bushes, their ancestors were on the Mayflower. It's something like that. Like
I have no idea. I'm not pushing back. I just don't know.
Their ancestors, there's a thought. Don't look at. They had ancestors on the Mayflower. That's how far their shit goes back. I mean, we go back. Prescott Bush, all of this stuff. I can't wait for you to talk. When are you talking to him again?
In a couple of weeks.
Excited about it. Why are people tagging you and shit that he said?
Because they're thought warriors. And remember I said before that I was going to talk to Billy Bush?
Oh,
the last time we talked because this is how I got blocked by Spencer, because I was like, I don't give a fuck what he has to say, blah, 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 blah. He only gives a shit about himself. And then somebody told me to look at something on his page. And when I went to look, I was like, I don't know if I've ever been blocked before. And I went to look and I was like, wait, it says there's a loading error. And then I looked at somebody else's. I think it was like Heidi's, and I could. And then I went back and I was like, oh shit, I guess he blocked me.
Spencer Pratt has not blocked me on Twitter. As a matter of fact, me and Spencer Pratt are following each other.
On Twitter.
Would love to have Spencer Pratt on.
I would too.
About all of these things. You know, I will say this. So you've never been blocked by a celebrity before?
No, if I have, I don't know.
Oh yeah, we've talked about this before. Ashton Kutcher blocked me back in the day.
No.
Yeah,
Did he unblock you?
I don't think so. I think I'm probably still blocked by Ashton Kutcher.
You know, he was on my season.
What do you mean he was on it?
You said you watched it.
I watched parts of it.
He and Mila are big Bachelor fans, or they were at the time, and they came on to host a date. They did. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did.
Damn.
Oh, no.
I thought he had unblocked me. No, look, he still got me blocked.
On Twitter? What did you say?
I didn't say anything. He blocked everybody. Everyone from TMZ.
Oh, okay. All right, fair.
Like he would just, if you were on TMZ, he just would straight up block you. He would block everybody from TMZ.
That makes sense.
So I'm blocked by Ashton Kutcher. I remember back, I was in the office and they were talking about Ashton Kutcher and they were like, "Oh, Van, you're probably blocked." I was like, "What? Why would he block me?" It's like, if you get seen on here, they're like, "Who's the new guy?" And he blocks you. So I went there, he blocked me. Ashton Kutcher blocked me.
It's really nice.
It's tough. He's a really nice guy. Blocking people for no reason. Fuck Ashton Kutcher.
I remember they looked around on my date and they were like, none of these guys are for you. That's what they told me off camera. They were like, none of them.
They told you that? They ended up being right.
He wasn't on that date, but still.
Oh, daddy.
They were right.
All right. Let's move on. What should we do next? Donnie's choice.
Let's do the Tyler, the Creator one. I think that'll be a good conversation. Tyler was on a recent episode of DJ Drama's Gangsta Grills podcast, and he had this to say about discussions and debates around top 5 lists.
I think people who fixate on objective top 5s are fucking lame. Like, I'd rather hear people talk about the shit they like and love and their favorites instead of who's the best based on numbers or hit. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, people really be arguing, like, how dare you not put so-and-so on of all time? Like, what if you just told me who your personal favorites were and the shit you like, and then explain it, and maybe you'll put me on to some new shit instead of us sitting here arguing about, like that's crazy. You care about another nigga's top 5 list when you're on your way to work. Like, go get a fucking hobby. It truly blows my mind. Oh, how dare you not put Pony Tony on top 5. He killing niggas. You heard his verse on so-and-so. He rapped from the perspective of a hot dog. Like, oh, but what's your favorite song on that album? I don't really listen to that album. So what albums do you listen to? But people aren't selfish enough to like, hey, this is what I like. Check this out. This is what I learned about it. This is how I grew from this. This is when I heard it. Like, that shit is crazy. And I do not give a fuck about an objective top Rushmore because I'm doing my own thing, like, whatever. Like, but I think everyone should have their own personal Rushmore of things that they heard when they were 7, 14, 28, 40, that changed their life, that makes them feel a certain way, that's their personal favorite shit.
Do you feel attacked?
No.
Do you feel like the Van Lathan is under attack?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. As a matter of fact, I thought about Pony Tony's raps, man. I know why he rapping from the perspective of a hot dog.
Why?
Because Pony Tony be in them buns.
Is this why you wanted to do this topic? Ew.
What?
The fact that you can make your lip quiver. Like,
what? What?
Do it again. Get closer.
Look, you know, this is another treatise on dick riding. That's what he really was. That's what he's
You
talking
thought
about.
this was? That was.
Without a doubt.
I actually liked what he had to say.
I like what he had to say. Yes, he's of course he's 1,000% right. You know what he's talking about?
What?
He's talking about the people. A couple of days ago, you know, I'm in my shit. You know, I'm in the car I'm gonna listen to a random mix on Tidal because I still have Tidal.
Yes, you tell us.
And then you know what comes on?
What?
Bitch, I ride till I die. Lord knows I stay fine. I love it. And I love it. Doom, doom, doom. We count hundreds on the table. 20s on the floor. Fresh out of work on the way for some more. And I love it. I'm listening to Jeezy, nigga. Jeezy. And I'm thinking to myself, is there anybody who I really, how many rappers do I really like listening to more than I like listening to Jeezy? Standing ovation. You know what I'm saying? And I'll go and I tweet, you know what? Jeezy's in my top 10.
Oh, I didn't see this.
Jeezy's in my top 10.
Okay.
My top 10 of people. And not only Jeezy, Juvenile in my top 10.
Obviously.
And my top 10 includes Jeezy. It includes Juvenile. Those are two people that are in my top 10.
Yes.
Right? So, and then people come, oh, y'all niggas want to kill, blah, blah, blah. It was a bunch of Pony Tony niggas that came in there and was like, you can't tell me that Jeezy rap better than Fly Session number 35 from, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I like Jeezy's.
It's your list.
It's my list. I think your list matters more than any objective list.
Of course.
Because if we just talking about niggas who could rap, then that's subjective in a way too.
As well,
now,
for sure.
Sometimes there is a little bit, you have to be objective in a way. There has to be some objectivity if you're talking about just like who's the best, right? Who's the best? Because, you know, I'm going to come out and tell y'all niggas that Youngbleed, when I'm listening to niggas rap, Youngbleed, my balls, my word. I like, that's the type of shit I like. But he's right. What he's saying is that a conversation around what moves you is a better conversation
for sure
than a conversation that is an appeal to authority, an appeal to some hip-hop authority. Because at the end of the day, that becomes nut-licking and dick riding. Like, how could you have somebody ahead of this person? Like, no. It's like, that's not as interesting as a conversation about why an artist or their art means something to you specifically.
I loved it. I loved everything he had to say. I immediately thought about the Van Lathan, and I thought, oh no, is he going to feel like this is a personal thing? I didn't know. I'm glad it's not.
You thought I was
because you make your own lists.
All kinds of different lists. Yeah.
You know, and we do Mount Rushmores, which I actually do think a Mount Rushmore is an interesting conversation. It doesn't have to be about rap, just about anything. But again, we're asking somebody their personal, not to debate it, because it does give you insight into what they like, why they like it, how they tick. And then again, to his point, you might learn something you don't know about an artist, or if it's a movies or food or whatever it may be. I loved this. And it reminds me of why, you know, I'm a fan of Tyler, the Creator.
Now, an objective top 10 list or something like that, it has its place if you're talking about deep criticism. But not everybody is qualified to make an objective top 10.
Oh, for sure. And we talked about that on this podcast when we have lists of you know, it's like top best 20 songs of the 2000s or whatever it may be. And we always talk about, like, debate them and talk about how, like, why they don't really matter.
If you're going to make an objective top 5 hip hop list, you have to have listened to all of these people's records. You have to know all of their stories. You have to put their sales, their influence, their cultural impact into context. Most people aren't even qualified to make an objective top 5 or top 10 list of things, because that requires deep scholarship into what it is that you're talking about, right? You have to literally be able to point to the rise of Rakim, his influence on the people behind him, and then be able to weigh that influence versus commercial success, lyrical ability, depth of all of that. There's just not as many people as y'all think that there are that can sit down and make a list, an objective list of the top 10 MCs. Most lists are your lists.
Yeah.
Right? Because you ain't about to tell me, if you ain't never heard Scarface, you ain't about to, I'm not going to listen to, you're not going to put like 10 fucking niggas that is all from the West Coast or all from the East Coast and then tell me, and then Scarface is not going to be on your list. You haven't listened to Scarface. If you haven't listened to him, how you know he not number 7? Jeezy.
Jeezy's great. You ever seen Jeezy in concert?
No, I don't like concerts.
Mm.
I don't like concerts.
Maybe you would like the one he does with,
the orchestra.
the orchestra behind him.
It's just but like
Everybody gets dressed up. I hear it's like an affair. Like people get dressed up, but like they're listening to this trap music in nice clothes. It's like a whole thing.
But then like you gotta leave though, and like.
And what's the problem with? Yeah, you got to go home, Van.
I know, but like it's like a lot of people in the parking lot.
Do you not go to sporting events?
Not really. Not like talking about. Because like you go there and then you have a good time, and then it's like okay, I gotta go, and then you leave. You gotta use the bathroom first, but then you gotta leave. There's a bunch of people in the parking lot, and there's people sitting around.
This is
like
such a half cup full mentality.
I don't know what the half cup full. What the fuck? What you on right now, nigga? You on that shit?
No, you are.
I apologize.
It's such a negative thing. If you the whole time, if at a concert you're worried about what the traffic in the parking lot, yeah, maybe you should stay home. That's awful.
What's awful about it?
Because you're not in the moment. You're not enjoying the experience. You're more focused about the traffic after. Maybe while you're sitting in traffic, you can listen to the music that you experienced at the show. Maybe y'all could talk about what you liked, didn't like, whatever. That's usually what happens. You still singing the songs. You up. Wow.
When I leave,
that's tough.
When I leave, right? So I'm in that bitch. Let's say I went to the Jeezy concert, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last I heard, I was the man in these streets. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm in. I was nigga, what? Nigga, fucking. It's all there. So I'm listening to. I'm in that shit, and then I'm in the parking lot, and I'm still up, and then I'm like, why don't you go? Go. I'm letting you go. Go. I'm back to music and stuff like that, and then I'm like, yo, man. What the fuck is going on? Are we ever gonna get out this bitch? And then about 5 or 6 minutes after, I'm through all the records that I love. I'm from T, and I'm like, yo, was it worth coming out here for me to be frustrated in this moment right now?
Gosh.
Was it worth me coming out here? It's late. I'm not gonna get good sleep. My eye bag's gonna be crazy the next day. Was it worth it for me to drive to the Hollywood Bowl? For me to drive whatever, now I gotta fight traffic to get back. Was it worth it for me to come out here?
No, Van, it wasn't. Not if that's how you see it.
So none of what I say resonates. Donnie, before we move on, none of what by the way, you know how I know it resonates? Because I look up at a Laker game, and if the game is decided with 5 minutes late, they fucking clear out the Staples.
That's true.
Nobody waits for seeing
but
I Love
they
LA.
Still went.
Yeah, sometimes
they still
I go.
Went.
Sometimes I go, but like
you really are turning into Unc. I mean, you're there. You are all the way there.
Why you gotta remind me?
I want to bring you back. I'm trying to bring you back. And you know where it starts.
It's everyday people.
I don't think you're gonna make it. Crowds.
But look, everyday people is different though, because you can get in and out of there. Plus,
yes, you can, but there's a lot of people.
But there's something else that I do at places like this, and because you have gone out with. What do I do? When all of y'all are out partying, y'all having a good time, we at a party.
Oh, you Irish exit.
Bye. Van.
I'll be like, where's Van? He left.
He's gone.
He left.
Bing bang. Headed home. Out of here.
I don't think I've ever been in an event like that with you longer than an hour.
No. Done. My feet hurt. Everybody's talking.
Next thing I know, Kalika walks up with me and I'm like, oh, okay, he left.
Pew, pew, pew. Bye.
I'm so the opposite.
No, nigga, you like to shut the fucking party down.
I'm the worst.
Like Rachel.
I'm the worst.
Rachel likes to shut the fucking party down.
And I'll walk in and I'll be like, I'm so tired. I'm probably only gonna stay an hour. Next thing I know, nobody's there. It's like time does not exist. They're like security, like they're shutting it down. They'll be like, it's time to go out. And I'm like, man, where'd all the time go? I'm having such a good time. Man, every time.
Back in the day, when I first learned this about Rachel, some years ago, there was a party at Issa Rae's thing. I can't remember what this was for. Remember the rooftop party at Issa Rae's thing?
Yes.
And you didn't even much want to come to the party.
No, because it was fresh off the divorce. I remember this.
Rachel didn't even want to come to the party. Rachel's like, I don't know if I'm going to go, blah, blah, blah. Everybody was at there. It was actually a nice little joint right there.
Oh, yeah.
So everyone's on the roof. We go to the party and everything like that. And all of a sudden, Rachel didn't want to come to the party. I look around and the bunny hop is on and Rachel has become the bunny. The bunny has taken over Rachel's body.
I thought you left by then.
No, Rachel has become the bunny. And Rachel is Rachel is doing the thing.
I'm like showing them a different version. Y'all know this one?
Yeah, and it's like, y'all ever know when someone's doing one of them dances and they get so into it that they clap because like, they like, I'm like, oh, Rachel is like, because there's no clapping that bitch. You just like, you bunny hopping and Rachel's just like, I'm like, oh, shit. I'm like, look at Rachel. Going fucking crazy.
Every time.
I look at you, I'm like, you didn't want to come out, huh? And then going crazy, like cutting up. But you know what when I said that to you? When I was leaving. All right, let's take a break.
I am what they call an extrovert.
Mm-hmm. On the other side of this break, we're going to talk to Marc Caputo from Axios about the War Powers Resolution vote that took place in Congress. Does this mean anything? Does this make anything substantially different? And where do we stand with possible U.S. hostilities with Cuba? He's going to answer these questions on the other side of that break. Okay. There's been a vote in Congress on a resolution to end Trump's war in Iran, exercise in Iran, whatever you want to call it, Operation Epic Fury. Some Republicans have broken with the Republican establishment, which is, of course, made up of the whims of President Trump, and voted for a resolution to end the war. What does this really mean, though? We could try to explain it to you, but we're not going to. We're going to leave that up to Marc Caputo, senior politics reporter at Axios, over 20 years covering national politics. I saw him on CNN election night. I thought that the highlight of your career was coming on Higher Learning and talking to us, but it looks like
it was. You got good viewership. Don't sell yourself short.
We appreciate you. Formerly of Politico, NBC News, Miami Herald, all of that stuff. All right, Marc, let's talk about it. For the average American that's wondering when this war will end, when prices will begin to stabilize in terms of the oil, they're paying at the pump, everything's more expensive. What does this vote in Congress mean?
It just means, as you said, that there are more Republicans who are growing uneasy with what's happening in Iran. The problem that the anti-war side or the critics of President Trump have is the likelihood of this getting through the Senate is pretty slight. And then even so, is Donald Trump really still wants to stick through this? In fact, if you would have listened to the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio's testimony before Congress a few days ago, I've lost track of the days, I'm sorry, he said that the war's over. So they're not even agreeing on the idea that there's technically still a war. It's a complicated environment.
Yeah, so the fact that Republicans kind of, 4 of them crossed over and voted with the Democrats. What does this say anything about the GOP? Does this say anything about, like, in general? Is this a one-off, or are they getting uneasy about the current state of the country, and we might see more kind of fall over to the other side? Do you think
you're seeing more of it? Number one, there's just sort of the natural laws of political gravity. Is Donald Trump is coming to the last midterm of his last term. And that's what they call the lame duck period. That's where a president starts to lose his juice. Now, if there's one president who's going to keep as much juice as possible and more juice than others, it's going to be Donald Trump with the GOP. Likelihood is, however, that the Democrats are, at least the likelihood, not the guarantee, they're going to take the House. And if that happens, it starts to really change the balance of power. The thing is ultimately in our congressional system, not to get too wonky and geeky here, but the only branch that can really check the executive branch is the legislative branch. And the only ultimate way to do that with a president, like for Congress to force a president to do what they want to do, is to impeach and remove him from office. Now, that's a really extreme thing, because you can impeach by simple majority in the House, but in the Senate, it takes 2/3, 67 senators. You're just not going to get it. Donald Trump knows that. So he's an incredibly empowered executive who's going to do the things he wants to do, and he's largely done that. But what you've been seeing, in addition to this vote that you're talking about with Iran, is a number of Republicans starting to break ranks with him. For instance, the president had established in his own Justice Department, or the Justice Department had established, a $1.8 billion weaponization fund that was going to be this huge pot of money that Donald Trump could essentially decide to dole out to whomever he thought had been wronged by unfair prosecutions during the Biden administration. And there were a number of Republicans who were like, we just can't do this. No, stop it. And Donald Trump signaled, or the attorney general signaled, that that weaponization fund was, quote, dead for now. Now, how long now lasts, we don't know. So that's one thing. Another thing, Donald Trump wants to build this big, beautiful ballroom. Initially, he said it would only be financed with private dollars. But then his allies and he started to say, well, they want to get tax money plowed in there to build this ballroom at the White House grounds. And that became a real flashpoint because a lot of people said this is not worth the expenditure. You didn't consult with Congress. That's now been taken out of a funding bill. So you're seeing those are kind of three cases: the Iran vote, the ballroom vote, the weaponization fund vote, or the slush fund vote, as the critics call it. These cases of Republicans starting to break ranks with Trump. But I don't want to mislead people. Donald Trump is the most powerful executive we've seen in the White House in a long time. He's got an iron grip still on his party. Sure, maybe one finger in that iron grip was, kind of pried back, maybe two, but he's still got a hold on that party.
Is it possible that these Republicans that are breaking ranks are doing so because some of them might be up for re-election this fall and they don't want to give any potential opponents material to cut ads on them?
Well, it's part of it. I mean, this is not a popular war. The president didn't, generally when a president goes to war, the administration starts to lay the predicate for it. It starts to tell the people, hey, we might be going to war, and we might be going to war for A, B, and C reasons. Trump didn't do that. And so this is sort of a little bit of a shot to the system for a lot of people. And not only was it unpopular to go to war, but then gas prices started to rise and food prices are starting to climb up. It's causing inflation in addition to some of his trade and tariff policy, which is sort of a separate thing. And at a certain point, this is just becoming too much for a lot of people. I'm not predicting that there's going to be this wholesale revolt against Donald Trump, but way back when Bill Clinton first ran for president in 1992, his advisors famously said, it's the economy, stupid. And it's still the economy, stupid. And in this case, it's gas prices. Everybody drives by, or most people drive by if they have cars. Even if you have an electric car, you don't fill up, you still see the gas sign for the cost of gasoline almost anywhere in the United States, I guess, unless you live in like a densely urban area where you take a subway, right? But if you're driving a car, you know the price of gas. And like you probably are more likely to know the price of gas than the price of a gallon of milk, for instance, right? And that matters to people.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You already touched on it when you said before Congress, Marco Rubio was talking about how, well, he said what Trump said, the war is over, or they grilled him on that, and then he tried to kind of walk it back a bit. But he did say that Congress passing a resolution would make Iranians less likely to come to the negotiating table. And why does he believe that's the case? And is there any legitimacy to that statement?
Well, I can't explain the legitimacy of it, right? I can just explain what they're thinking. The idea that the Trump administration, perhaps any administration would have in this case is that in their view, the United States needs to be fully behind President Trump so that he can force the Iranians to the negotiating table and not have the Iranians think that there is division in the United States, which is going to eventually cause Donald Trump to have to back off or to buckle. That's the sort of the bottom line. The famous scene in The Godfather, if you like movies, right? Never go against the family in public, that kind of thing. And that's what Rubio is trying to say there. The problem that the United States has in dealing with Iran, in part, is the United States is sort of a victim of its own success. That is, on February 28th, when the United States launched this war against Iran, it chose that day because the intelligence services had shown that the senior leadership, including the Ayatollah, who was ruling Iran at the time, were going to be in one place on that morning, on that Saturday morning. And so the US and Israel went on a bombing raid and blew them up. And they blew up a lot of the Iranian leadership. And then Israel especially continued with targeted assassinations. So the Iranians suffered what's called a decapitation strike. That's number one. So who do you negotiate with when you've removed some of the leadership? It's complicated. Then in addition to that, Iran knew that one day it was going to be attacked. And it came up with a more what they call a diffuse power structure. It's called the Mosaic Doctrine. And it's the idea that different factions and different groups in the Iranian political system generally would be able to operate somewhat semi-independently. Well, that also makes it just very difficult to communicate and negotiate it with Iran. One of the interesting things in Marco Rubio's testimony is he talked about how there's basically like a 9-man council that debates these things, and then they take it to the new Ayatollah, the son of the murdered Ayatollah, or the assassinated Ayatollah, or whatever we want to call him. They have to take what they've decided and debated to him. But he's not using a cell phone because he knows if you use a cell phone, you'll be tracked and killed. So he's essentially hiding. So they're taking messages to the Ayatollah, United States believes, by courier, like old-fashioned, like on a piece of paper, so that he can't be tracked. That just slows down negotiations, just makes it more difficult to understand who they're working with. Then in addition to that, because there's this diffuse power structure, there are some Iranian leaders who just don't want to have a deal with the United States. Some probably do. And those who don't have allies like Hezbollah, the terrorist group in southern Lebanon, whom they can, United States believes, get to attack Israel and prompt Israel to respond to them and create a pretext for Iran not wanting to settle the war. It's a complicated chess game, except unlike chess, you got 2, 3, 4 sides with missiles, guns, bombs, and attack drones, and a long history of shooting at each other and killing each other.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much Hezbollah has to do to get Israel to act completely unconstrained in Lebanon. I think that's it depends on your perspective there. But what I will ask you is, what has to happen for the Trump administration to exit this war feeling like they've gotten a political victory? To me, it seems like there's no good way out of this for them. Any deal will be judged in the context and the purview of the JCPOA, which doesn't seem like that will be favorable to Trump if you make the same type of concessions that were in that deal. And then if you just, declare victory and go home, the Iranians seems like that they will be strengthened in terms of their control over the strait. So the question is, everyone wants Trump and the Trump administration to get out of the war. How do you do it in a way where you maintain your political dominance? And it doesn't seem like you curd to anyone.
That's a great question, and I don't know the answer to that. But what I could see as a likely scenario to ending this would be Trump agreeing to allow Iran to access its various frozen funds in billions of dollars, dropping sanctions, which Iran wants so they can sell their oil on the open market and make more money, and coming up with other creative financing schemes so that the Trump administration would not call it reparations or compensation, but the Iranians would call it. It'd take a little bit of messaging financing, or smoothing out, I should say. And that would be the likeliest scenario to see an end to the conflict. Trump would, in this scenario I'm talking about here, or the administration would, because let's face it, Donald Trump doesn't really stay on message, unlike the rest of his administration, would say that we went in there, we destroyed Iran's nuclear capability, we got all of its nuclear material out of there, we've largely shattered their ability to wage war on their neighbors, their missile stocks are depleted, their navy is essentially gone, they've got a few like go-fast boats and Boston whalers. It is not the regional threat it is anymore, and there's peace and everyone's going to be happy. That would be the scenario they would say. I'm not saying that people are going to buy it. I'm not saying it will be messaged that clearly, but that would be the answer to that question.
Excuse me. For listeners and our viewers who are listening to you talk about the War Powers Resolution, what should they take away from this? Is it just a headline? Is it symbolic, as Van was alluding to? Or is it really a functional piece of legislation that is useful in 2026? Or is it just something like, it just feels like, even as we discuss this right now, that yes, it means something in the sense that 4 Republicans sided with the Democrats, but in the reality of things, there's really not much that can be done. And if it goes to with the Senate, it still has to go through the House and it can be vetoed and all of that. And so, if I'm a listener and I don't know much, like, what do I do with this headline? What does this mean?
It just means that there's just a little bit more Republican opposition to President Trump than there was before. But it's not going to really bind him. At least that doesn't look like it's going to be right now. I mean, there's an outside possibility, and I would assign a low probability to it, that Trump would say if it passed the House and it passed the Senate, okay, fine. You guys wanted me to withdraw. Here's an excuse for me to withdraw. So in answer to your prior question, it does give him an out. For instance, when I talked about that weaponization fund earlier, that $1.8 billion, they use as an excuse of backing off of it the fact that a court had issued an adverse ruling. Now, Donald Trump, if he wants to push something, is going to push it. He's going to appeal, but in this case, he's like, hey, we're going to respect the court. Technically, he could do that here with Congress, but Trump doesn't want to do that. Heading into this weekend, the last weekend, there was more reason for optimism and more optimism in the Trump administration than there had been in recent weeks, that a deal was actually on the table and was doable. And Trump, from our reporting, had sent back some edits to an offer from the Iranians to have a peace deal. It concerned how they would dispose of and deal with nuclear material. And within that document, there was a financial component. And the problem that happened was we were told on Saturday that the president had made these edits. He sent it back to Iran. He's hoping for a response. It's obviously difficult to get a hold of people for the reasons I said before. The Ayatollah is kind of hidden, so it would take a few days. And then on Sunday, Netanyahu unleashes this broad assault on Lebanon. And that just caused a real stir for Trump, because Trump thought, that he was close to a deal. The Iranians use this as an excuse. They're like, look, Israel's uncontrolled. We're not going to do this anymore. The president, Trump, and Prime Minister Netanyahu got on the phone on Monday, and Trump lit into it. According to our sources, and Trump subsequently confirmed that he said it. He said, what the fuck are you doing? You're fucking crazy. The president of the United States said this on a call, like, it's remarkable. He said, everybody hates Israel because of what you're doing. Like, you need to know when to quit. And I'm keeping your ass out of prison, he told Netanyahu. Netanyahu, incidentally, in 2019 had been indicted in Israel for alleged corruption charges. He's denied it. There are people both in the administration and certainly more broadly who are critics of Netanyahu who think that he's partly incentivized to continue to wage war because as a wartime prime minister, it makes it more difficult to remove him from office and for him to stand trial. One of the things that Donald Trump has been trying to do is tell Israel, hey, look, drop the charges against the guy. Now, they have listened to President Trump and Israel about it, but that's sort of underpinning some of Trump's concerns here and his criticisms on that phone call, because there is, while a good working relationship militarily between the United States and Israel, I say they're sort of brother countries in this conflict. Brothers sometimes fight, and it was a hell of a fight from what we understand.
Yeah, I had my eyebrow-raising thoughts about that. It seemed pretty convenient for that to be reported, and then for Trump to come out and be like, "Yeah, I was tough on BB," and it made him look like I told him go fuck yourself, and you're ruining everything.
Fuck you,
fuck you, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, maybe there's some kind of break." It seems like they're still pretty much.
No, I think skepticism is understandably warranted. Knowing the reason, I was actually trying to find out if that call had happened. Before I was told, and the reason was I suspected it had occurred because in the process of reporting out my colleague Barak Ravid, the contours of the latest sort of peace deal that Trump had sent back these edits. On that Saturday when I reported out that story, I was told by senior administration officials that Netanyahu wanted Lebanon included as a component of the peace deal, and Trump had told him no. Then the next day, the bombing campaign happened, and I was like, oh, I wonder if the Trump administration is going to perceive Netanyahu as basically, oh, I'm not getting my way, I'm going to bomb my way to your attention, and if that would piss off Trump. And so I asked about it, and they're like, yeah, well, it's interesting you asked, just 30 minutes ago, blah, 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 blah. So that's how the story came about. Did they make it up on the spot? I mean, I guess it's, it's possible, but the high probability is that that call happened.
Before we get you out of here, you've been so generous with your time. Give us an update about the last thing that we discussed when you were on here before, which was, we discussed Venezuela, but Venezuela was a conduit into us discussing Cuba. It seems as if some of the reporting I'm reading, it seems that the United States is staged for or primed for an invasion of Cuba. a regime change operation in Cuba. We are certainly involved in immiserating the Cuban people right now down there to try to break the will of the government and I guess the people there more broadly. What is happening down there?
So a bunch of things have happened. The U.S. military arm called Southern Command that oversees operations in the Caribbean is based in Miami. And let's see, what month is it? It's June. So in late April, our reporting had shown at Axios, the Southern Command, Southcom had an interagency, what they call a tabletop exercise, where they had everyone come in and they war gamed out a variety of possibilities of what to do militarily with Cuba. I was told, and I probably should have reported this, so for what it's worth, it's sort of news here, that the military plans for handling Cuba, responding to a crisis there, or even invading, had really not been updated in many years. So this is sort of a kind of a fresh update. And so that's one thing. Second thing people have to understand is
so just so you say real quick, mm-hmm. They've updated plans that were already existing, which signals increased preparation, or what does that signal?
I would say so. Oh, sure. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Pentagon has plans for invading everywhere.
Of course, I know that, but fresh plans would say that they've looked at their old. Okay, right.
They looked at their old plan. So, and here's why. So let's go back for a second. In 1959 is the Cuban Revolution, right? About a year later, the United States under Eisenhower imposes the first Cuban embargo on Cuba, and it basically penalizes Cuba with respect to trade. And the embargo has been worked on in a number of years and expanded and contracted. In 1996, there was the shoot down of this aid plane called the Brothers to the Rescue, apparently, or according to the United States, in international waters. And that caused a stir back to Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton's running for re-election. And the Cuban American Republican members of Congress made sure that a law was passed that codified the embargo into federal law. So federal policy, federal law since 1996 in the United States for Cuba has been regime change. It says the Cuban embargo cannot be dropped unless Cuba frees political prisoners, have free elections, and guarantees various civil rights. Those are the three major prongs. And so only in 2026, on May 1st, which they purposely chose May 1st, it's Workers' Day, it's a communist sort of holiday or celebration day. So the Trump administration on that day purposely imposed a new, different type of sanctions, the type of sanctions that are used, say, with respect to Iran and Russia, called secondary sanctions that don't just target the Cuban government. It targets businesses that are doing business with elements of the Cuban government. And coupled with the trade embargo, these sanctions have really started to crush Cuba's economy. In addition to that, because the United States took over Venezuela is no longer giving free oil to Cuba. Cuba, run by a bunch of Marxists who don't know how to run an economy, also have a certain measure of blame for what's going on there. They didn't pay for oil for years, so no one's selling them oil because no one will get money back anyway. So now the United States basically controls the trade that goes to Cuba, the oil that goes to Cuba or doesn't go to Cuba. And the Cuban regime, the totalitarian government there, looks weaker than ever. People are without power in some places for as many as 22 hours a day. It's summer now, at least in South Florida, although right now I'm in DC. I know summer technically isn't later, but it's the beginning of hurricane season. Things are getting hot. And when things get hot, people get hot. And if you don't have electricity, you don't have enough refrigeration, it's harder to keep food. So the United States has war gamed out. One of the big things from the tabletop exercise was thinking, if this is going to be like 2022, when there was an uprising on July 11th in the streets of Cuba against the regime for people demanding more freedoms and a better economy, the regime then violently put down those protests. They killed people, they incarcerated them for daring to speak up and to protest. In this case, if that happens again, according to this tabletop exercise, the United States government and President Trump is possibly, I don't want to say he will, he has a number of military options that have been war gamed out as possible responses. So that was a really long answer to this, is that the United States is looking at the possibility of an uprising happening as a result of the immiseration, it was a good word you used, right, of the Cuban people in late summer, and a violent regime response, and then the possibility of the United States coming in and militarily taking over. Now, how long that lasts, what that looks like, I don't know. I wasn't given the plans. This is only the shreds of reporting I can get that don't disclose too much confidential information that could get, or classified information that could get the people I talk to in trouble.
So it seems like we're starving them so that they rebel, so that we can go, so that more people are killed, so that we can then go in and do what we want to do.
That is certainly one interpretation. Yes.
Wow, this world is a crazy fucking place, Marc.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh.
Well, it's true. You laugh because it's true, and you laugh because that's how we get through
God
it.
bless the
honestly.
Yeah, I mean, the United States has been at war with Cuba, Cold War with Cuba since 1959, and the U.S. has viewed the Cuban regime as the exporter of anti-American Marxist revolutions that have changed the governance and lives of people in Venezuela, in Colombia, in Nicaragua, and in other places. And the Trump administration and Marco Rubio see this as the time to effectuate regime change. But exactly what that looks like, who knows? There could be a negotiated settlement as well. That is, the folks running Cuba could finally say, all right, fine, like uncle, we're going to come to the negotiating table, and we're going to free Cuba, we're going to free political prisoners, and go through all those things. We'll have to see.
Marc Caputo, senior politics reporter at Axios. I'm not even going to ask you about when we're going to know something about the LA mayoral race. I saw you on CNN talking about that because
I think Karen Bass is going to win. It's just the question is just when and by how small a margin, right?
And who's your number two? Which a lot of people are asking around here because a lot of people.
I think it's going to be Pratt. I think, but I'm outside of my depth, and I probably shouldn't say those sorts of things. But if I had to bet a nickel, I would bet that Pratt would be number two, and then I would bet that in the final election, I would imagine Karen Bass would win, because there's only so much of a protest and a Republican vote in LA, still a Democratic city, right? But we'll see.
Thank you for joining us today on Higher Learning, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
All right, Donnie. I haven't actually seen this topic. I haven't looked at it.
And that's the problem, Donnie. That's
nice.
No, look, literally, that's why I wanted to talk about it. No, you're not alone. Yeah. Nobody's talking about this.
Tennis pro Sloane Stephens is currently covering the French Open for TNT Sports. And recently during a broadcast, her co-host Adam Lefkoe gave her this introduction.
TNT, baby. We ready to go. Good morning to all of you on the East and West Coast. If you're up on the West Coast, heck of a night. Keep it rolling. John Isner, Sam Querrey, Caroline Wozniacki, and Sloane Stephens, y'all. Great to see you get off the ranch. I know the crops need attending, because you are ready to go. Adam Lefkoe here. She tried to put me on Instagram, and I didn't like it. So why don't we see if you missed it last night.
Okay.
Nobody's talking about this.
Right.
What were your thoughts?
So this is what I thought. So obviously we're trying to do race. This is race. You feel like this is race. Yellow race.
The crops need tending to?
So, okay, so this is the way I look at that. If that's me, I'll probably make that uncomfortable for him.
100%.
If that's me.
I would have, go ahead. What would you say?
He said the crops need tending. I was like, well, which the cotton? The cotton crops? Is that what you're talking about? And that's a punishment, but it's a punishment for him doing something that I think is inadvertent. Because I have to punish your inadvertent shit as well. So, but I do believe that what he did was inadvertent, but I still have to punish you for it just a little tap.
He should have known better to not do that.
Okay.
So, like, you can miss me with the inadvertent. You should have known better. Because what I would have said is, okay, because at the end of the broadcast, I think he says something like, all right, I got her. Like, he doesn't even, somebody must have said something to him. And instead of saying, apologizing, because heaven forbid he do that, he says something like, all right, you can get me back. Right. Something like that to her. And I would have been like, well, you already whipped me once. Why don't you just go ahead and do it again?
Fuck.
That's what the fuck I would have said. Because that's what you...
Damn.
Well, it needs to be the same thing. Because the yeehaw, okay, whatever. Back to the ranch, fine. She's not even wearing a cowboy hat. Like, the joke was stupid too. Like, it didn't even match. That's why I'm like, you should have known better. Yeehaw, all right. Go back to the ranch. Okay. He didn't say field. But then he said, because the crops need tending to. You go, what? The crops need tending to?
But
well, how am I going to tend to them? Who's tending to crops?
But ranches...
That is an outdated term.
So, okay. So let me ask you a question. Do you think it was this? Because I feel you.
I'm not saying he's
feel
racist. I'm saying he should have known better. To, like, one, it just makes me feel like you're not in black spaces enough. You're not around black people enough. You thought that joke would land. This is tennis. This is a predominantly white sport. Everybody sitting at that table is very white. And then you look at Sloane and you're trying to make a joke. I don't think he was being racist. I don't think he was trying to. My point is he should have known better. And the fact that Sloane had to be subjected to that, sitting there, she put that outfit on, she put that hat on, she probably thought she looked so cute. She's a beautiful woman. Yeah. And then to open up the show, to set the whole mood for the entire tournament, at least for that day, to tell her that she should be in the field because that's the only place the crops are. They're not on a ranch. They're in the field. Tell her that's like, I can't even imagine how she felt that entire time just sitting there. And the crazy thing about it is she had to sit there and she probably felt like, well, I can't say anything. I don't want people to say I'm sensitive. I don't want people to like him to get sensitive and say I'm accusing him of being racist. I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to make a big deal out of it because she has to. And it just reminded me of the times of like being a black person where you have to sit there at times and feel like you have to debate within yourself. Do I just take this or do I say something about it? And you're the only people who have to litigate that kind of thing because you don't know, as the only black person here, if you're going to be able to continue in this space if you make that white person feel uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Oh, because he'll say, it was inadvertent. Why are you taking it so seriously? You just gave everybody the opportunity to laugh at how I look and to take it back another century. I'm sorry. Okay. It was the tending to the crops that was too much. Come on.
I'm not okay.
I'm not calling him a racist.
Okay. First, okay. I've told you the Black Hawk Dishonour story before, of course, right?
No.
Real quick primer. Donnie, have I told the Black Hawk Dishonour story on here before? I had to have.
Nah, this doesn't sound familiar.
It doesn't sound familiar.
So back in the day, gonna be quick. Back in the day, I worked at a place and there was a producer. And me and this guy were really close. He's cool, right? Cool guy. And he wanted to pitch to me a movie that he wanted to do. And the movie was about a Black Hawk helicopter that crashes in Compton. And it's on the run from terrorists. It crashes from Compton. It crashes in Compton. And there are parts of the Black Hawk helicopter that are all around, laying everywhere. And the I guess Marines or Special Forces, whoever, the Force Recon guys, whatever it is, that are on the Black Hawk helicopter have to like hide from these people that are coming to get them in the community. And then the community comes together using the weapons and all of the parts of the Black Hawk to help the Marines that are on the ground there fight off these terrorists or whatever. And the name of the movie at the end was Black Hawk Dishonour.
You definitely haven't told that story.
Okay.
Dishonour?
Black Hawk, the name of the movie was Black Hawk Dishonour. Now, I've told this story certainly on TMZ and probably on other podcasts, but that was the name of the movie. And I remember I'm sitting there and I'm listening to this, and I thought, and there were two things that were happening here. Number one, it was like, I like Van. Van is going to be the one that's going to get this idea. Mm-hmm. Van is the guy that's cool, but Van don't take no shit, whatever. I'm going to tell Van about Black Hawk Dishonour because the rest of this town can't fucking get over the fact that I called it Dishonour. It's actually a story about the empowerment of the neighborhood and working with fucking Marines and all of that stuff. The military comes together with the neighborhood. They build fucking turrets and they fight these guys off. Black Hawk Dishonour. This is awesome. And I remember he pitched it to me and I was like, okay, so no. Under any circumstances, no. If you do go out with that movie, we will laugh at you, and I will be the person laughing the loudest. Now, can we get lunch? That was the thing.
Mhm.
Like, I didn't make a whole big deal about it. I'm just like, no, that's whack. Now, I will say that they will probably make that movie. They will probably make that movie, Black Hawk Down. But I guess my thing is this. You are right. This guy, I've seen this guy before. He does like a podcast with Shaq. He hosts on here.
Yeah,
a lot.
he's a sports host.
He's
a
guy.
popular sports guy.
Sports guy. I personally, in my situation, like I say, the way I punish you in that situation for what you do is to come back at you with a joke, call out what really is wrong here is that was corny, right? He was trying to be cool and he came across as corny. But I don't think that I would be angered by it.
I'm not. Okay, go ahead. I want you to finish.
No. That's all. I mean, I not to belabor it, I don't think that I would be angered by it. Are you?
I'm not angry. I'm sad that she had to sit up there and just take that.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at the guy on the other end, he looks super uncomfortable.
Right.
And
Because the guy said yeehaw.
Yeah, and
that
even
is-
the
'cause that's
yeehaw,
so- the
even the
yeehaw-
yeehaw got me a
The
little.
yeehaw is like, what we doing, dog? Like, what's going on?
So that's one. That's it. There are three. Then the ranch, then the tents of the crops. And it made me sad because I just know, I can't think of a particular moment that I've been the only Black person in a room where somebody made a joke inadvertently, or maybe in your situation, maybe Rachel won't take it so seriously, and you have to, within yourself, say, do I go this way or do I go this way with it? And if I go this way, like, you have to litigate it in your own mind for your own well-being, for your own survival. Do you keep your job? Do you make this person uncomfortable? Do you get labeled this? That other races don't have to do. And that made me sad watching it. And I looked, she hasn't done a response. He hasn't said anything. Network hasn't said anything. And they probably won't, because they want this to move on. And maybe she does too. Just like, nobody to talk about it. Let's just move on to the next thing. But as a Black woman, when I saw it, I was like, I just felt so bad for her. Like, I don't think that he intentionally did that. I'm going to give him that. But he should have known better.
Can I ask you this?
He should have.
This is a deeper.
But I definitely would have said the whip thing.
Yeah.
Especially where I am right now.
I'm fucking with
Okay,
you.
nigga, whip me
Can I ask you a
again.
question? As people living together
Mm-hmm.
in the same realm, on the same panels, in the same grocery stores, like on the same podcast, do we actually need to be better at making space for good faith cultural glitches? It's not always going to go
Yes.
perfect. And so like
Yes.
so what I'm saying is not when there is intent, insidiousness, and all of that stuff behind words, deeds, and actions, we have to fucking come down with the hammer on those as crazy as we can. But in situations where we're around each other, I do kind of feel like there is not a responsibility. Sloane Stephens has no responsibility in that situation, but just for not even the greater good, but I don't even know what the right word is. Don't we have to be resilient to a degree to where we respond in kind or consider that we are living in diverse times where people are not always going to have a complete handle on our experiences and sometimes run afoul of them?
I completely agree with you. I think that's why we have both said we're not quick to label people racist. I don't like when people do that immediately. I think it takes away. If I say it, I've truly thought about it. It's the same reason we had Keith Edwards on here, right? It was a conversation of, this is what's happening in this space. Let's sit down and let's have a conversation and talk about it. I'm not saying to excuse him like Adam or anything like that. That was a little deeper, but I agree with you. I guess my point with Adam is, again, I'm not calling him racist. The reason I say he should have known better is to the point you made as well. One, I think it's just, well, let me just say this too. It's also the glaring thing of when you're Black and you walk into a room full of white people, you immediately know you're the only Black person in the room. They don't necessarily look at you in that, they don't see it in that way because they aren't that. They're around this majority of them. So I would imagine that Sloane is already aware of her presence on that panel in that space, period. Then you go in there and do this. Now, to your point with Adam, the reason I even more so say he should have known better is because he has had a podcast with Black people. He covers more than just a predominantly white sport. He covers sports with majority Black people as well. I say you should have known better because to me, tending the crops is an obvious thing. As an obvious thing.
I feel what you're saying. Look,
I'm not mad at him, but I do think that it's something that you should discuss because I truly felt sorry for her when I watched it. Now, Sloane might have been like, I know Adam is nothing serious, but, you know, do I wish she would have said, you already whipped me once, you should do it again? He would have been so uncomfortable. Go look at her face. She looks uncomfortable.
She looked like that because the whole, I get it.
She looks uncomfortable.
But this is why.
And she would have got in trouble if she said that.
This is why the actual move is to go first for me.
What do you mean?
You're in a space with a whole bunch of white people. The actual move is to make them uncomfortable first and raise their awareness of the situation. That's the move. The move is you walk in here and you go, you're on the thing, you're Sloane Stephens, you go 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess they really did get rid of DEI. And then everybody goes, oh shit. This what type of time we on? like everybody goes, oh fuck. They're like, she wanted him. like she actually, cool. Now the ranch thing is impossible because when you do that, you've put out a protection. It's not gonna happen now. And if it and if it does
some
happen,
people it makes them comfortable enough to be like, oh, that's what we're doing.
No, if it does happen, now you know straight up you've laid down the gauntlet and you can go back and forth. You make a joke about them, you do something right away, you make them uncomfortable. And so now that they're uncomfortable, now everybody's like, I don't want to be the one. He got too comfortable. That's really what happened.
Yeah.
He got too comfortable. Now, last question about this. Is there anything he could have said regarding the ranch that you wouldn't have taken in that way? What if he just said like
she's riding horses, or because like she didn't even have a
what if she
cowboy
was
hat
tending
on?
the horses though?
The word tendon's got to go. I don't want that verb anywhere near me. I ain't tending to shit except getting an Adam Massa Lefko's ass. That's what I'm tending to right now.
Oh shit!
There's no way for him to close it out and say like, "Oh, you can get back at me." That's okay, Massa. You made your point.
That's what I'm talking about.
You gotta,
though.
but see,
that's the way. That's
but
what
also,
I'm talking
I know,
about.
but the reason I'm saying this now is because we do that. Not everybody is as comfortable being that confrontational or making people uncomfortable.
I feel what
so
you're saying.
I feel like I didn't see this addressed enough, and I watched it, and I felt so bad for her that let me talk to Massa for you. I hope he listens to this podcast.
Adam,
just do better. You should know better. That's it. I don't think he's racist. or anything.
That's funny. That's funny. Okay, you guys, we have a surprising. I would say surprising, inspiring, very thoughtful interview with Jay Pharoah on the other side of this break. And I mean this sincerely. Surprising, thoughtful, spiritual
it's
interview
really
with Jay
nice.
Pharoah on the other side of this break. We got a hang for y'all right now. Like one of the single most impressive talents for a long time, man. I remember back in the days when this is pre Saturday Night Live, when you was on YouTube with it, and I'm looking at, it was the Denzel that got me. The Denzel and the Will situation, he makes it to Saturday Night Live. Now he is a multi-hyphenate. We're talking about a musician, a television host. The Quiz with Balls is a show on Fox. It's on hiatus now. It's coming back after the World Cup.
That's a double entendre. Who saw that coming at all? Me hosting a Quiz with Balls and being a game show host. That's crazy. But hey, it fit.
That's a check.
Yeah.
Hey, absolutely.
Everybody's trying to get that job.
I know.
And a rap album,
Yes,
the
sir.
Odyssey, dropping on June 12th. Jay Pharoah joins us today on Higher Learning. Y'all give it up for
What's
Jay
going
Pharoah,
on?
man. What's going on? How
I
you
love
doing?
this. The only thing is missing some incense. I love this, man.
We should do that,
We
actually.
should actually. And you know what? Speaking of that, I did buy some candles from a lady over on Larchmont. that I wanted to burn while we was doing some interviews here. She had different candles and different moods and stuff. I just didn't bring the candles in yet, so I'm gonna bring some candles here.
Hey man, don't get too many candles. Then you start getting into Drake green room territory. You know what I'm saying?
What's with that? Drake got candles in the
got
green
candles, got a humidifier. You know what I mean? He takes care of himself. He gave me some throat spray when I was because I was hoarse.
Let him.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
I was hoarse.
This is always a thing on the podcast, by the way.
Yeah, like
I'm surprised you didn't get stuck on quiz with balls.
yeah, I was hoarse, bro. Like he gave me come on, bro. Like it's nothing weird, bro. Like the guys, bro. He's a guy, bro. He gave me some spray for my voice. You know.
Do you do Kendrick too?
Oh yeah, little doot. Yeah. He's like, wait, 69, freak it. Right here, 69 God. For your life. Get the label gonna let you disrespect Pac.
Man, he's got a character voice when he raps too.
He does.
Yeah, he does.
I don't know why I did one and I didn't even mention Kendrick, but Kendrick is another one of those that he has that timeless vibe in music that you can play like 20 years later and you'll still be playing his music at the cookout. So
yeah, for sure. Well, for you into music,
yeah,
I listened to this. The one joint that I got a joint on YouTube I listened to.
Yeah.
And I gotta be real. This music is surprisingly good.
Thank you.
Explain.
But let me tell you why though. If you put some music out and you came out there and you was rapping,
right,
and the shit was like competent rap,
right,
I'd be like, oh, okay, he can rap. Well, this is kind of like ambitious sounding soul. I know that you've rapped more traditionally in the past.
Yeah.
But this is on some like really ambitious sounding soul music with a groove and a vibe that is serious.
And
Funk
can I
rap.
add to it? It feels nostalgic and different at the same time. And I don't. Do you understand what I mean when I say that?
I can break that down
Okay,
too,
please.
because it's like old school cross with neo, you know, and you merge those two worlds together, and that's when you create something timeless because it's got the '70s type vibe in it too, but it's got a contemporary feel. You know what I mean? Like I don't know James Brown if he got dropped in a Young Money camp or freaking Rockefeller camp for like a little bit and he put out an album. That's how I would equate this album to be like that. So I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So the Odyssey, where did the title come from? Where did the inspiration behind the music? Why now? Because like Van said, you rapped before.
Yeah.
But what was it with this
Unsuccessfully. I can't even say it's unsuccessful, just that you know, people that tuned in and listened to me do the freestyles on Sway in the morning, or you heard me do the freestyle on a Who Kid show, you knew I could rap. But the question was, what was the product going to be? Where were you going to go with that? And, you know, to go back to your point, how surprisingly good it is, I couldn't put out anything that was going to be less than that. After I have put out other music that's been good, but it hasn't really hit. We wanted to make a whole project that really hit. You know what I mean? And every track on this album, every track is is one you can run back and listen to. So yeah, I totally understand what you're saying when you mix the worlds, and I totally understand what you're saying when you say, man, this is surprisingly good. I had no choice, bro. I had no choice because I put out Speedboat, which is a great record. I don't know if you heard Speedboat.
I don't know if I
it's
heard
a little
Speedboat.
Explicit, but you know, I was at a different part of my life when I made that, and then finally put it out. But it's bars, but it's not a full buffet of artistry. You know what I'm saying? It's only one little aspect of it.
So, I mean, anybody that's heard you rap before knows that you can rap, and you said that. And also, just I think the assumption and expectation would be that if somebody with your creative talent got with a producer, that you can make something that sounded good.
Right.
But to make something ambitious is different.
Right.
Because when you do that, then that talks about your taste level, how you're getting into the music and all of that.
Right.
How did this come together from a musical ambitious standpoint in terms of like you melding sounds and going in a different way and stuff? Like, where's that from?
That is from the base of the project, and I love how you all alley-ooped each other because I halfway answered your question. I didn't finish it. I'm so sorry.
No,
And you came in, and this is why y'all are partners, because y'all understand each other. All right, so the Odyssey, first of all, the name came from the song I did, Life Was Good When You're Rich, because I set a bar in it. I said, if you stingy with your liquor, then you odd to me, then your money mythology, and that's the Odyssey. You know what I'm saying? And in the next verse, I totally flipped that. But that's where the project title came from. Now, as far as everything mixing together, I came with Miles William, who's the producer on this project, with the idea of demand. You know what I mean? I had it in my mind. You know, at first I freestyled it, sent it to him. He built the beat around it. And after that, he listened to the song, the first take, and he was like, all right, you got to take some of this out. You know what I mean? Because you know, you got to remember everybody that's listening to your music. Yeah, women are listening to this music. So even though demand is demand, you still gotta kind of have some moral to it. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to, you get more bees with honey. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So let's have a good message in that. Bam. All right. Cut to I'm Good. That song. It's like, it's rapping about being positive. It's keeping your head up, you know, making sure you pray, stay connected to God. Those are the morals in that one. So you got that one. You got Looking, that's dropping. Looking, it's just somebody that got their heart broken. I mean, he's got his heart broken. He's rapping however he's rapping, but it's still relatable in that way. And we also got Stavros and all these other engineers on the project that really understand sound like Will Smith right now that really understand the integrity of everything of the music, like the ingredients of it.
Sure.
So
song construction, melody
it's all
construction,
melody construction.
Like, how to take imagination and engineer it into
Absolutely.
actual sonic feeling, all of that stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we wanted to create a story that paralleled where I've been through, but still would make sense in another dimension. This character is in another dimension, but he's dealt with the same type of things that I've dealt with, which is getting a lot of notoriety, getting a lot of power at an early age, and thinking that that's the creme de la creme, having the accessibility to everything, and then realizing that that's not going to make you happy. I had all of that, you know what I'm saying? But that's not the thing that's going to make you happy. What makes you happy is being able to take your talents and your gifts, generate wealth, help people, give it all back, because you can't take it with you. But at the end of the day, what you will have with you is your soul. So pay attention to that. Pay attention to love and strive for that. Because if you don't have God, you don't have anything.
What was the moment that you realized it's not gonna make me happy?
During the pandemic, I think that was my moment that I had it, and even at the end of SNL, and when I got white famous, I'm like, yo, I'm still. Like because I'm still trying to get to some other place. You got people looking on the outside like you're here, but in your mind, you're like, no, I got to keep going. It's a never-ending story when it comes to fame, because if you're ambitious and you want to keep growing and evolving, if you stand still, the world is going to pass you, so you can't stand still. If you keep growing and you keep evolving and God dang it. See, I got ADD too.
Elevating.
If you keep elevating, then that's the beautiful thing. You can't just sit here. You can't just you can't just allow the world to just pass you by. You got to keep pushing forward. You got to keep moving. At the same time, when you get there where you expect it to be years before, when you finally get to that point, it still won't be enough.
It's not.
It's never going to be enough.
Yeah.
So love is what you need, man. Love is eternal. Love is going nowhere. You always need that, and you can't take any of this stuff with you. So why not give it back? Why not give it away? And I'm saying during the pandemic, man, really during the pandemic when I had everything and I was like all the way on the other side. Like, dude, it was, house was crazy. Parties, all this stuff, random women in different rooms and stuff. It was all of that. And when I had all of it, it just felt disgusting. And I just broke down one day and man, I had a spiritual God really touched me, and he really brought me back from where, like the prodigal son, literally the prodigal son. Like, you spend your money on women, you spend your money on all these things, and you feel dirty, you feel disgusting, but you hear that voice telling you to come back, and that door's still open. And I walked right through that door back in there. So
that's interesting, because didn't you have, before I guess your career took off, you had a moment where you had a similar experience where someone said something to you?
Absolutely.
And kind of spoke to you and told you not to give up.
Yep.
And I would love for you to tell the story. And it's just interesting to know that. And then you find yourself at a place where you're achieving all this success, everything you feel like you've wanted, you still didn't feel fulfilled. And what brought you back was the very thing that got you started.
Yes. Well, what you're talking about is when I was in Burlington Coat Factory.
Tough.
Yeah, very tough.
Yeah,
very tough to work in general.
Tough place in general.
A lot of people shoplifting.
You go inside the Burlington Coat Factory, and I used to call it, and Gino will know this, I used to call it the most depressing place in the world.
Why?
Oh, yeah.
Because I was a bigger dude, and I would always go into the Burlington Coat Factory thinking that I was going to leave the Burlington Coat Factory with something really fly. And every time I went in there, it was like nobody wanted to be in that bitch.
No.
Right? Nobody wanted to be in that bitch. Nobody helped you with the coats. Nobody looked. You have to look through. It's like
it's a lot.
You go into the Burlington Coat Factory
there.
and you ask, hey, man, can I get like a hey, bro, we don't know what's in this motherfucker.
It's so big.
Look around this motherfucker. Like, look, just go find a coat, get the fuck out. Perkins Road, Baton Rouge.
Ratchet Central. That's what it is.
Yeah, and it's
Ratchet
like nobody
Central.
is okay. So That's so weird.
I was working there in 2000 and I believe it was 2008 and or 9. It was 2008 or 9. And I was down on myself, man, because I was on the road with Charlie Murphy, but that has started to dry up a little bit, you know. And I was thinking in my head, man, I was like, yo, what should I do? Like, am I going to keep doing the entertainment thing, or I'm just going to go back to school and finish my degree? And I said, man, maybe I should quit. I said this in my head. As soon as I'm saying that in my head, there's this guy that walks to me. He sees my head is down. He say, listen, man, God just gave me a message to tell you, keep going. Because whatever you want is about to happen to you. Everything that you want is about to happen to you. Do not quit. Keep going. And I was like, okay. And then me and my sister went on the road and we started doing the Chitlin circuit. In New York, you do the $75 rooms, $100 rooms. And that was the summer of 2009. And things started happening this December 2009 to January 2010. And then that Will Smith versus Denzel clip went viral. And then E played it. And everybody saw it at Fox. Fox was offering me a holding deal. I was supposed to do a sketch show with Affion Crockett back in the day.
Okay.
Before In the Flow. It was supposed to be me and him.
Oh, so before he actually got his show on the air, y'all had a different show that you guys were going to do.
Yeah, well, it was
Shout
the
out to
same.
Affion.
It was the same show.
Okay.
I just wasn't in it. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
And I was supposed to be.
Right.
But NBC had offered a holding deal, which I took. And during that holding deal, SNL came through, and then they got me, and I was off to the races. Right. And then everything started happening. But I had that feeling. I was like, yo, man, this is it. And I was way more connected in the beginning, I would say, to God, because I would always, you go back to my Facebook posts, I was always posting, thank you, God, thank you, Jesus, you did this, such and such. And then I got in the industry and I got sidetracked with everything that was happening, you know. So cut to the end of SNL, I'm living, but I'm living, you know what I'm saying? I'm not as connected. And then cut to the pandemic when everything was like going this way, and I really had everything I wanted to. I had a salacious lifestyle, and I didn't want that. And then going back, having God like open his arms and say, you can come back, and just putting the coat on me and saying, if you meet me halfway, I will carry you the rest of it. I literally heard that. And I was like, I will, okay. Let me start getting rid of My swings in here. Let's get rid of all this stuff. Man, yeah, it was crazy, bro. It was insane.
Has that experience, obviously now you feel totally different. You feel way more fulfilled. Did that bleed into the music or even your comedy? Has that changed it in any way?
It has. It has. Now, one thing, my struggle is the profanity. I don't curse off stage or off record, but it's still in some of the artistry, as you can hear in the music. But mind you, I made the music 2024. There's still it's a transition period. You can't just jump, be advanced. You got to work towards where you want to get to. Sorry. I feel like now I'm working towards where I want to get to, where, the stuff that I come up with on stage, I'm not cursing, or I'm taking words out that I don't need. And I'm always trying different words and saying, okay, if I substitute this with this, how will it affect the comedy? It hasn't changed it. People still laugh. So I realized that you don't necessarily need all of the words to create the art, But, when I recorded this album, I was still a little transitional. So there's some words in there, but it's still great music, and it's still feel good music. Well, and
do you have a personal thought or ethos that makes you think or believe that profanity is like either not wholesome or sinful or
no, it is. I mean, you're not. In the Bible, you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to curse.
Is that? I never knew that. You're not supposed to curse.
You're not supposed to. But
you come First Baptist Church, or are you going?
First Baptist Academy.
First Baptist Academy. Like, are you going to educate? Because we be. I was cursing like a motherfucker.
I curse. But listen, I don't know the verse, but I was taught that, yes, for sure.
Bernard, research,
I don't personally know the verse.
Sin? Because I didn't know that.
I was raised to believe it was a sin as well.
I was raised to believe that if you do it, you get kicked in your stomach. But nobody told, like, Daddy would be like, hey.
It wasn't rooted in anything.
I don't know.
It was more of respect.
But he never really rooted stuff in stuff like that, Mom and Dad. Because they'd say, hey, motherfucker, don't curse at me. Don't curse in my motherfucking house, nigga. And then you'd be like, wait a minute, that don't make sense. Well, I'm interested in how, when you feel like you have to clean your spirit, what are the things that you feel like you had to separate yourself away from them? And it's interesting that profanity is one of those things.
Well, profanity was definitely one of them. Another one was just the, pornography, things of that sort.
Yeah. You set a high bar for me right now.
Yeah, that's his struggle.
Yeah. Really?
It's a high bar.
He talks about it all the time.
Listen, hold on.
Well, it used to be. Excuse me.
Hold on. Can we say something?
You've talked about it before.
We've talked about it before
on the podcast.
I was initiated into the life of porn at an early age.
Me too.
You know,
absolutely.
What I'm saying? Like, so, and it's been something that's been a thing over the years. But I don't necessarily.
A long way. I'm trying to be nice. Why do you? Why? These are not digs. These are not digs.
Okay.
I can talk to you from somebody who was addicted to that, and somebody who was so addicted to that the accessibility of those folks was just eye opening. Yeah. You can. You're fine. You can come out of that. God can take you out of. God can take you out of anything, man. Everybody has their struggles. I'm not judging anybody that curses. Certainly. You can, you cursing now, I don't care. It's, right. It's not like, ooh, I'm just like, I'm not going to do it.
But, I think I'm more interested in when you come to that, and in a sincere way. I think I'm interested in what people think or how people connect to, or how people analyze, whatever you want to say, the things that they feel encumbered by. And for you personally, when you felt encumbered, spiritually encumbered, mentally encumbered, what freed you? If it's porn, for some people it's going to be drugs, for some people it's going to be food, for some people it's going to be like video games. It's all different types of things.
I had all those things. At one point I was fat. I was serving that. At one point it was the drug thing, over smoking a lot. I used to serve that. I had to cut down on that. I used to I don't look like it, man, but I used to puff it up, you know what I'm saying? Like a chimney, homie. You know what I mean? Not anything crazy, because because Charlie always told me that, he said, man, weed is fine, but anything past that, you don't want to do it, because it alters your personality. And I never wanted anything to alter my personality. So I never did any heavy drugs, but weed, I mean, it's not addicting, but it can become, if anything that can become habitual can be like in some vein addicting. You know what I'm saying? That was what I was serving. And I was shown pornographic images at a very early age. Yeah. And I was a church kid. And when I saw that, things started shifting a little bit. So yeah, what up, Damien? He the one that got me this stuff. He was Daniel say his last name. You know who he is. He the one. He used to print out. He used to have the hard drive full of pictures, and he'd give it to me like it was a deal.
Damien was his name.
Damien was the guy. He was the guy.
That's straight from the
whoa! I didn't even put that together.
Damien. You see, you
still talk to Damien?
That's what. No, I don't.
You got angels in your life, but you also got some Damiens too.
That's crazy.
Damien.
That's crazy, bro. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. And that was my strongest weak. That was my biggest weakness.
Yeah.
That was my biggest weakness. So finally, when I felt empowered, when I felt the spirit come on, it was I can't do that. I'm not comfortable with it. I might slip.
I feel you.
Everybody slips.
Of course.
Nobody's,
you know,
of course.
But whatever you give more attention to in your life than God is your God. Mm-hmm. And that's real. Hey, man, whatever you are serving, think about the time. Even if throughout the day you were always like, God help me, you were still communicating with God. You're keeping an open communication. Vice versa is the person who just goes to church once a week and just says whatever and then lives the way that they want to live for the rest of the time. You can't live the way that you want to live for the rest of the time. And whatever is a weight, a burden on you, and whatever's holding you down, you got to get rid of that, because God sends you the Holy Spirit to break chains. He's never going to shackle you up. You know what I mean? He doesn't shackle. That's why the story of Exodus is so prominent. How all of the Jews, they were in bondage. They were in bondage, and the Spirit came and got them out of that, and it's that narrative with every story. God is always delivering people, you know what I mean? Even from the beginning. The reason we have time is because a sin happened outside of time. Sin happened in time. We sinned in time. The angels sinned outside of time. That's why they can't be forgiven, because when you sin in eternity, that's forever. You know what I mean? And they disrespected God's presence. They did it in his face. 1/3 got kicked out. So we said, what I'm going to do is I am going to come down myself, my son. I'm going to send him. He's going to be the body to redeem the world, to bring you all back up. That 1/3 that's lost, I'm going to replenish it with the people that have never seen me before. And that's what's so special about it, because blessed are those who haven't seen yet they believe, and that's what it is.
What about with friendships?
Yeah,
Have you had to let go of some of your friendships?
Man. Yeah, like a few of them. And not in a disrespectful way.
Sure.
But like some people I was hanging with, they were party partiers. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They probably went to the Diddy party. You feel me? Like I ain't go. I never went. You know what I'm saying? Did you go? Van?
I've been to a couple.
You went to? Oh, okay. Wow. All right.
See, I didn't say anything.
All right,
she could have got me. I didn't say anything. I said this before. I'll say it again. Hey, excuse me.
Their degrees.
Degrees.
Tell them your
This is
logic.
the way I look at it. Okay, you don't have to change the hat. Okay, their degrees. They're degrees to the party. Okay?
Yeah.
And so there's a first.
I wouldn't know.
There's a third degree party, a second degree party, a first degree party, and there's a capital party where this is basically a freak off. We saw a video of that. But I've been to parties that he has thrown before. So many people have been.
But you haven't been to the house.
Yes.
In Miami?
No, not in Miami. Yeah. What you want me to say? By the way, I'm not going to say everybody was at this. Was not like a private, this not freak off situation.
Yeah, we didn't go.
Yeah, you weren't even out here. Thank you very much. Okay. And I'm not going to talk about you, Mr. Swing Set. All right. That's good. But no, I understand what you're saying. What I think, in all seriousness, there is, and we all know it in the town.
Yeah.
There is, and has long been, an element of existence in this particular town that is just
demonic.
Yeah, it's full of debauchery. It's full of exploitation. It's full of wielding power over people. There's a corner of this particular city where secrets are made. And those secrets oftentimes are used to
blackmail people,
degrade people, but more than even that, they're used to extract people's humanity from them.
Yeah.
They're used to put people under your thumb, under your foot, under your boot. And I'm not talking about the people that are being blackmailed. I'm talking about the people that are being exploited in order to produce the blackmail.
Got you.
That's long been a thing in this town. And also, it's just a place, to be honest with you, where things are moving so fast, especially like you're from New York, so it's probably not fast to you. But for me, when I got out here from Baton Rouge, it was such a blur that time was going. It was like, let's go here, let's go there, let's go here, let's go there, let's go here. And then by the time you get used to it, you stop remembering to say no to stuff. Like the town is like there's an aphrodisiac of yes. So where you stop, you have to, somebody has to shock you for you to be like, no, I'm not with that.
That's why I live in the valley. You know what I'm saying? I got my way.
You're like, no, that's not for me. That's not for me.
I understand that, and I always say this, man. You know, and you seem like you have a good, you had a good beginning, whatever, with your fam and all of that. I could definitely tell. By the conversation you had with Kanye the first time I saw you. And I was like, yo, this dude is like, you have a good moral code inside of you. I'm actually from Chesapeake, Virginia.
Okay, word up.
But my mom is from New York. So I have gone up and down the East Coast for my whole life, pretty much. I got family all over. Philly, New York, Maryland, Florida, North Carolina, everywhere. But if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for everything. You know what I'm saying? So the people who do come out here, who don't have any type of home base, no type of faith foundation, those are the ones that they're going to get eaten up because they don't know how to say no, because nobody has told them about these things. Like my mother told me when I was 8 years old, no sex. I'm like, okay, that's weird. I'm 8. I'm not even thinking about that. But she said, every time you think about sex, think about my face. I said, well, that's kind of freaky. Shit, that kind of freaky right there. You know what I mean? I don't want to think about your face. You know, maybe Josh's mom. She's bad. But think about your face. But it was always driven into me early on. You know what not to do, what to do, and I have people. You know Tone Stith. Mm-mm. You don't know? I just wanna fly, sorta like an eagle, baby. That song? You've never heard that? Okay, well, anyway, he wrote Chris Brown's Liquor. He's a good writer, singer, all of that. He's from my church, and he's in the industry as well, and we have these conversations. Evie McKinney, who was on, Evie? Yes. Yeah. She also goes to my church. So we have the foundation, and we check in with each other and just make sure, hey, you good? You good? I haven't talked to Evie in a while, but I can see she's just so spiritual, and that just comes from people pouring into you at an early age, so you don't fall for that stuff, man, because you don't want to say yes to the wrong thing. I mean, I went to an all white party before, and I got mollied. You know what I'm saying? Right. I mean, it was all in one glass, and I drank stuff real fast, bro. I used to drink, bro. I used to get it in. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? I could throw back 13, and 13, 14 a day. I wasn't caring. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I had liver problems. You feel me? Not anymore because the liver regenerates. However, back there it was messed up. But I drank the whole thing. Boom. Now I'm messed up the whole night. I didn't know that they put all the Molly in there. Nobody told me about Molly. They told me about Coke. They told me about weed. They told me, and then nobody had to say heroin because I'm not going to do no heroin. You know what I'm saying? I saw Ray. I'm not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody trying to be in the
bathroom.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody trying to be in the rehab. I don't want to take that. Oh Lord. You don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? So it was poured. I think it's important for people who are coming to Hollywood. You can be successful in Hollywood and not lose your soul. You could be that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But I think that's such an important message. I was going to ask you that. I'm so glad you said that, because I do think people who haven't been here, who have dreamed to come here, they have an idea of what, still to this day, of what they think Hollywood is like, or what they think they have to do to fit in and be successful. And I was going to say to you, and I guess like you could address this to people maybe who still have the dream to come out here, or might be going through it right now. Is it hard for you to hold your faith publicly in an industry that doesn't always make room for it? And if not, how is it that you do it? Is it the community you shouted out to people that you build around you to help you do that? Because obviously you can become successful.
Right.
And stay successful.
Yeah, it's just following. It's following what the Bible said. It said, he said, if you're ashamed to profess my name in front of people, I'll be ashamed to profess your name in front of my Father. So you can't be scared to say it. Whatever happens, you know what I mean? Okay, if I lose some parts, I'll just lose some parts. I wasn't supposed to have those parts. You wanted me to walk out naked anyway and do some weird Fleece Johnson stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I don't want to. That's not where I'm trying to go. So I'm aligned. I'm going to stay aligned. I'm going to stay aligned in Scripture, stay aligned in that foundation and have that foundation because, yes, that is going to be the feed. That's going to be the fertilizer. That's going to be what I need to stay cemented. And you can, man. You got to stay cemented. But it was just not being ashamed. I'm not ashamed to say Jesus' name. I'm not ashamed. But also with that, it's responsibility with that. Because if people are watching what you're putting out and your fruit ain't matching, then they're going to be like you're a hypocrite. Sure. And most of the time, that's what deters most people away from the faith in general. They're like, well, he said this, but I saw him in the club doing such and such and such. Okay, maybe the man was slipping. You don't know. Everybody has their struggles. And struggles, listen, liars, adulterers, murderers, stealers, people who, the tongue, people who are loose with the tongue. It's the same thing. It's no sin is greater than another sin. So I'm not going to hang out at a murderer party. I'm not going to hang out at a party where people steal. If I know there's some stealers in there, I'm not going to hate them. I'm going to be aware, but I'm going to try to impose a message so maybe they don't do that. But you can be, listen, your base. Your base is the most important thing that you need. Your base, your faith base is the most important thing you need. If you have that, I don't think that you're going to have to worry about much in this industry, you know?
I also say two things for me.
Yeah.
One was I made a lot of friends with people who are actually from Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And that helped me because people who are actually from here aren't really enamored with a lot of the things that go on in Hollywood. They might come out to Hollywood and party and stuff like that, but then when you leave with them, they go back to their cousin's house and stuff like that, and sometimes they'll tell you, hey, man, don't wear that around here, and then you got to get used to that whole thing.
Right.
But people are from here. And number two, this is going to sound really weird. TMZ helped.
Really?
Yeah. TMZ helped because
they make me lose my Christian sometimes.
Okay.
But you would see behind
following
the scenes.
TMZ helped because two things. One, it was insanely structured.
Right.
So you're in the office at 6, you're out of the office at like 5:30.
Okay.
So you didn't have a lot of time to be out. But also, man, if you need to be in a place that provides you a cautionary tale to what excess, what mistakes. What did Big Sean say? It only takes one time to fuck up your whole Wikipedia.
Oh, wow.
That is real. Like I go on my Wikipedia and I'm like, yeah, cool. Nothing fucked up on there yet. I'm not a great guy by any means,
right.
But like when I would see, and they would be in the office and they would be they'd be writing up the stories gleefully, but they would be like, why does this person have a driver? Like, how could this happen? Like, what's going on? And that you also see that there is currency in your mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
That there are people that are like actually waiting for you to make a mistake because it's news for them, because it's a commodity to them.
Yeah.
And so part of it is just like, I don't want to be the person that gives you your next million clicks based upon what I'm doing.
I feel that.
But the basic thing is, I just really, and I don't do a good job of this all the time, I just really don't want to hurt anyone. Like I don't want to have like my rise or whatever be because somebody else is hurt or like I've taken something from them. You hurt people, you do. Like, but I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't want to, and that's the thing that gets to me about LA and this entire thing sometimes is just the need to hurt and dominate and impose your will on people and put them in bad situations and all of that stuff. Sometimes I don't know where that comes from.
Yeah. I think that's just Los Angeles. You just gotta get out to the valley. You know what I'm saying? If you
it's going down out there too, bro. It's going down out there too. Which part of the valley? Which part? Don't tell his people exactly.
I mean, well, you know, like near, you know, over there near Encino and all of that. You know what I'm saying?
See, that's nice though. That's Jackson land. I know people that live out there. That's where Michael Jackson is. That's the Encino. I want to talk to you about because I honestly, brother, a lot of this has been inspirational, but shit, nigga, we got to get some voices. We got to get. I want to know about your method because this part of it, I've always been obsessed with. There's a guy named Dan Soder.
I love Dan.
And Dan does. I accidentally came upon him doing Macho Man Randy Savage. Listening to an impressionist talk about how they nail an impression is some of the most fascinating shit in the world. He'll go, I'll take a little bit of this, I'll mix it with this, I'll put a little bit of this in there, and all of a sudden, he's doing Randy Savage, but he's touching his glasses, he's doing everything to where it feels like Macho is still alive. How in the world do you nail an impression and get it to the point to where like it entertains millions and millions of people?
Well, first, it starts with, for me, it starts with the voice. I'm not the voice, of course, the voice. It starts with the laugh first. If you gotta like, if you get somebody's laugh, like even some of the hardest impressions that I've done, if I didn't have the voice first, I had the laugh of the person first, and that gives you the spirit. Then for me, it's the voice, and the voice comes for me by literally. It's some AI type thing that I do where I picture the person's face on my face saying the same thing that I'm saying at the same time, and then I morph into it. That's it. Those things, and I might hear. Sometimes it is adding impressions that sound similar. Like for instance, like what's his name? God dang it! There's this. What is his name? He talks kind of like this. He has his voice like this. John Crichton. He was in Step Brothers. You know what I'm talking about?
John C. Reilly?
John C. Reilly.
Yeah.
Like John C. Reilly is a whole bunch of different impersonations mixed together. Like you can do this voice and you can also switch that other voice and go to or you can easily do Joe Rogan off of that and like switch it up and talk about elk meat. You know what I'm saying? So like, okay, I will hear people's voices and other people's voices when I'm really trying to nail it vocally. Now Denzel, there was nobody who I could say sounded like that man. I had to morph my vocal cords that were still going through puberty to match that man. Right. Yes, I was still going through puberty in my 20s. You know, I was a premature baby. I came out at 7 months and yeah, I had gray eyes and light skin and no butt. Who is this? You know what I mean? So that was a vocal fry. Will Smith, on the other hand, I don't know if you hear it and people say it, and at this time I ain't even denying it no more. We got like a similar vocal thing.
You sound like him anyway.
I sound like him.
Like I always said that. Like you kind of sound like Will even when you're just talking.
Yeah, and only because I'm being articulate.
Yeah.
It's just if you articulate yourself as a black man, because Will is so, he's so articulate. Like he takes his time and then he does it. And I'm finally, after all of these years, like after Van, like, woo, you saw it, right? You saw what happened, right? Like I got up there and I lost my mind. But here's the thing, like if I was to go after somebody, it would be if you had my love, you know what I mean? Yeah, that person. You see, and like, look at this.
Right.
Like the face is morphed, like my lips, they're articulating words because I'm fixed. Or if I just start relaxing and going like this and start blinking, then I switch the person, the personality switched up, that's what happens, right? You just switch it up. That's what you do, Frank. You see the duck sauce, right? You get the duck sauce, right? That's alpaca. That's 25. But it's yeah. I did theater, bro. So
what a fascinating neurodivergence you have.
Yeah.
Like
you're like a kid. Van is like on the edge of his seat, like a kid
my favorite
with this.
Like I can't.
I don't know if I've ever seen him this happy.
Like I can't even imagine the ability to go from that and like immediately before he just switched spirits and went right into Denzel and then Denzel's sitting right
You're
there.
gonna go home and practice
I
tonight,
can't,
aren't you?
No fucking
I
way.
know
I feel
you're
like
gonna be in
born
the
with
mirror
it.
practicing tonight.
No way. I feel like you're born with it. I swear to God.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know that's something else that you have to paying attention to, because it is natural, natural talent, but you do have those who are good at it and they don't practice, and they're mediocre, and I've never been that, because my father was kind of like Joe Jackson. So and when I say, he would Joe Jackson me with the voices. So like, I was first starting out, and he if I was getting out of a voice, he would, the belt would be, "Oh, what are you doing?" I'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry," And at that time, I'm being facetious and I'm pushing that a little bit. He wasn't whipping me at that time. I was 16, but he would drill into me. He said, "You're getting out of the voice. Get back in there." He did that. Oh, so he's the reason I'm so good, because it's him. I'm naturally good at it because my mother is good at doing characters. Mm-hmm. My father's just freaking hilarious, just stupid funny. My sister is funny as I don't know what. All my family members are characters. Like I got an uncle that looked like Captain Morgan if he was left in the hood for like 3 months. You know what I'm saying? Like seriously, bro. Like he's like nigga Sparrow. You know what I'm saying? Like he just how he looks. Like he got the gold tooth and all of that. But watching all of these characters and seeing all of these people when I was little, I think it just helped me with everything. And then getting into theater at 8 years old and learning how to nail a character and stay in it, and then having the extra level when I got into comedy and my father pushing it, and me seeing Mr. Sammons when I was 9 years old that used to do voices as he was reading the books. That always, like, you're fascinated with this, I was fascinated with him, like, yo, son, like, yo, he changed his voice when he was doing this character, he changed when he was doing that character, but he brought it to life. And that guy, I gotta start. I've told this story, but it's different. It's fine. It's a different podcast. It's different. It's a different podcast. I was playing Powhatan when I was 9 years old. Pocahontas. We did that play, right? I didn't know my lines. I ain't even gonna lie. And Mr. Sammons still put me in front of the teachers and everybody, and I didn't know my lines because he knew I was gonna crumble. You know what I'm saying? So I had beef with him for years because of that. Not even beef, just like I can't believe he did that. Why did he do that? Cut to 11th grade. It's a play called Damn Yankees, right? Yeah. And Damn Yankees, I was Mr. Applegate. But I got that role 2 weeks before opening night because the lead dropped out. Miss Shula said, "I need you." I learned every single line, and I won Best Actor that year. But cut to opening night. After I get in the lobby, Mr. Sammons is there. The same guy that put me up on stage in front of the teachers, and I didn't know my lines, and the kids had to feed me the lines. He looked at me. He said, I always knew you had that in you. I was trying to bring it out of you because I saw that in you at that age." And I said, "Well, you could have picked somebody else, to do it." But he was there, and we just had this reconciliation moment. It's like going from not knowing your lines and being embarrassed to fully being in command of the character and having that same person that saw it, witnessed that. It was really special, man. Really special.
It's interesting in this whole conversation because, you talk, we joked about Damien, but as you've been talking to us, you've told stories about these random strangers or a teacher or somebody like your parents, somebody who's been influential in your life. Yeah. Angels. Almost feels like you've been protected throughout your life. Yeah. Completely. Yeah. And, I know in 2020, you've spoken about what happened to you. Mm-hmm. And you said that you know what it feels like because of what happened with the LAPD to have a knee on your neck. Mm-hmm. And when you were, and this is a turn, but when you were sitting in the roast with Kevin Hart, what was going through your mind when you heard that joke, knowing from your own personal experience, one, but then two, just as a comedian, and then three, as a Black man? What were you feeling?
I just felt it was gratuitous. You know what I mean? I felt the rest of I felt some of the Cheryl stuff. It was a bit gratuitous. You were talking about her dead husband or whatever, but she approved that. But George Floyd had nothing to do with the roast. And to make a double entendre, like, yeah, he died, but also he's in hell.
when I was sitting there, I didn't laugh. And it's funny you said that, Rich, because I thought of it when that joke was thrown up. I was like, well, that wasn't funny. Why? What was the point of this? Listen, I pushed the line. Everybody pushes the line. But it has to make sense and it has to be funny. And I don't feel like that part was funny. I was having a good time at the rest of the roast. I was laughing. Machine Gun Kelly was sitting over there. I had Miles was right there. We were all laughing. But that part, I was like, oh yeah. And I was just like, that's crazy that that he would think that that's okay. But then again, that's Tony Hinchcliffe, and Kevin Hart had him on the roast, and he knew what he brought, and he just shouldn't have brought that because that was gratuitous. And for people in the black community who have suffered with police brutality or who have been wrongfully detained or whatever, it's not a funny thing, man. It's scary because your life could be gone just like this with one wrong move. Now, luckily, during my situation, I'm a very respectable person. Yes sir, no sir, and I was just trying to figure out what was going on because I have never been in handcuffs. I've never even had a ticket before. You know what I'm saying? So it was always taught to me to be aware of the law and to respect those people and to always have manners no matter what, because manners can save your life. But why would you put that part in there? I liked everything else. That in his set. But that part was just, come on, man. That was ridiculous,
So I'll say two things. Number one, manners shouldn't have to save your life.
They shouldn't.
They shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
But I will say this, to your point though, there were times and have been times in my life, especially earlier on, where I didn't even realize it was happening. I was like, I remember I'm in Baton Rouge, I get pulled over. I'm actually speeding because someone called me and had threatened to unalive themselves. So I'm trying to get to them. I'm speeding, man. So I'm moving fast, right? And I remember the police officer pulls me over and it's like, hey, he's like, did you call the police? I was like, actually, you're right. I should call the police. So I go for my phone. He's like, no. Right now, let's just finish this. And my dad had gave me this thing. It's called a Saber light. It's a flashlight, but it has like a sort of structured way that you, and I
Wait a minute. Before you go any further, is it like the bat signal? Like you open it up and it just, help me, nigga.
No, it's a heavy-duty flashlight, but I guess in the dark, you could mistake it for something else. And I go for the flashlight, and I open the glove compartment. The flashlight falls out, and he goes, and I went, and I'm like, oh, shit, this is happening.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, whoa. He's like, don't reach for it. I'm like, that is a fucking flashlight. That's exactly what I said. Get out the car, the whole nine. And then he goes and he looks at it, he grabs it, and he has it. It's a flashlight. I look at him. He looks at me. Now he's embarrassed, right? Now he's embarrassed. Now he's like, oh my God, like what the fuck is going on? And I'm like, I want to be indignant about it, but he drew his weapon. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm looking. I'm like, told you it was a flashlight. Told you it was, man, get me out of these fucking cuffs. Like, give me like the whole nine. So like legitimately, I get pulled over to the side, cuffed, and then they go around and they look at it. Then they gotta search the whole car.
Of course.
And they gotta search the whole car, hoping to find something to make all of this worse the incident that they just put me through. Yep. And I kind of don't know how to react. I'm actually driving back, and this is the fucked up thing about me. I get about 10 minutes up the road, and the same thing I do every time. I start laughing.
I mean,
I get about 10 minutes up the road, and I'm like, that actually just fucking happened. Are you fucking kidding me? Like that actually just fucking happened. And like I get to where my friends beat me to our friend's place, and they go, damn nigga, you was fucking late. And I was like, well, I almost died getting here. So yeah, the whole nine. And then we all talk and we end up talking about that. But people don't even understand. Sometimes you don't know how to react.
You don't know how to react.
Sometimes manners you should be able to be like, because I was driving with a guy named Reed. I'm not even going to say Reed's last name. Cop pulls us over. We on our way to baseball practice. Reed looks at him. He says, "Hey, we got somewhere to be. Hurry up." This Reed, white boy. He said, "We got somewhere to be.
Wow.
Like, we're late. So whatever you got to do."
The testicular fortitude.
Like, he goes, "We got somewhere to be. Hurry up." And he goes, "Hold on for a second now." He's like, "This is my dad's truck, the whole nine. We got somewhere to be. Thank you, officer." Snatches the ticket. We drive on. I'm like, "Are you fucking crazy?"
Yeah.
But that's
hey, I ain't. I'll tell you this, and you saying the best way, just like you're saying, through laughter. You got to laugh it off. I made a joke about the situation with the cops, and it actually happened. Like, yo, I'm sitting down there, the cops freeze, get on the ground. I'm on my Run app. It tells me to walk. If it didn't tell me to walk and I was still running, I probably wouldn't be here. But I get through. They tell me to get on the ground. I'm on the ground, and then the app says run, and I'm like, hell no. You know what I'm saying? But it's the joke of it. It's like you have to laugh it off. And you're talking about the way that the white dude talked to the cops. All right, so I dated my ex. She is very fair, mixed, half and half, straight up. You know what I'm talking about? Like coffee and cream. She's half and half. You know what I mean? But she looks more Caucasian, right? So we were getting kicked out of a hotel because she was mouthing off at the manager. Manager is a sassy man, very sassy. You got a sassy man versus two warring people in one person. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to end right. So he goes, "Get your stuff, get the hell out. This is how he sounds. Yeah. "Get your stuff, get the hell out of my hotel." Right. And I'm like, "Wait a minute, man, or I'll call the cops." Here she goes, "Call the po-po." I said, "Wait a minute. Wait. You could probably get away. Girl. You look like Mariah Carey, but me, I look like 50 Cent. They're going to try to put 9 in the boy. You know what I'm saying? So it's that, it is. There's that privilege thing, and it's that white folks are different when it comes to it. And she forgot she was black that night. You know what I'm saying? She forgot there was some blackness in there. They would have ran that car. She would have been going in with me too. You know.
So I got a question for you before we get out of here. A lot of people are asking,
man, we gotta leave. Then.
Yeah, we like a lot of people are asking for Kevin Hart to apologize. And I guess the question would be, if Kevin Hart did apologize, what would that sound like?
Wow. Listen. First of all, it was a roast. Everybody's got to be cool with that. The fact that I'm not responsible for what everybody says up there. It's a roast, first of all. Second of all, they shouldn't have said the George Floyd joke. That was totally wrong. I should have jumped in, should have said something like I was interrupting when other people up there didn't say anything, but I should have said something. So if I could go back and do things differently, I would have said, "I'm sorry, niggas. I never should have let that fly." Yeah, that's what I got. All right, we good? Okay, come to my show.
Jay Pharoah, what an interesting. This went some places I didn't know he was gonna go, man.
Yeah,
but I'm like, you seem really inspired and really healthy.
Yeah, man.
And I'm always happy to see a black man in that space. Brother.
Oh man, come on, man. Me too, brother. And listen, keep on striving, keep fighting, and keep going. I would say that to both of you. You know what I mean? Because you all have created a very comfortable space where people can be truthful and not take people down. This is like I would say this is the anti-Club Shay Shay. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And not and I love Onk. I love Shannon. And I went up there, I did the show, but it seems like it's kind of shade roomish, just a little bit when it comes to that. Here, it just seems like you're just having an honest conversation, and we're just really talking about life and maybe things that higher learning. There you go. You learn more about people, higher learning. And just like I learned today that Damien was the devil.
Jay Pharoah, thank you for joining us, brother.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. Oh, man.
Okay, that's enough podcast. Look at it. What the fucking time is it?
Van's got to get home. He's got to work on his impressions. I already know you go text the group chat and be like, "I got something. I got something for you." I know. You were so giddy. It was actually really cute to watch. Like, you were really like.
I just love that. I don't like you talking
really
to him.
cool.
You're talking to him, and you can see the way he changes his face and starts, before he even does the voice, he becomes the person.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, you can work on that and get better at impressions, but that's one of those things, either you have it or you don't.
For sure.
I just believe that.
Absolutely
either
right.
You have it or you don't. Now, he did say he was on some Joe Jackson shit, but I love that type of shit. It's so crazy. Like, why is that so? You go up and you watch somebody do an impression and you just get all like, it's funny.
No, I enjoyed it too, but I really liked watching you enjoy it. That's cool.
All right. Donnie, you got anything to say? Bernard, you got anything? Jade is out this week. Jade went to Sweden. By the way, I can say something about Sweden real quick. You know, all you guys that went to Sweden from the Ringer, fuck you guys.
That's really how you feel?
Yeah, that's how I feel. So all you guys that went to Sweden, fuck you guys.
You want to be there?
Well, no, I don't want to be there, but I also don't want people to make me feel like I want to be there. So what you guys have done, you Sweden people, while we're still here stateside working, what you guys have done is purposely try to build and engineer FOMO around some Sweden shit. Oh, look at us. We're having an NBA Finals watch party.
That's all I saw.
It's 3:11 in Sweden, and we're up together being a family watching the NBA Finals. I saw Weston. I'm surprised at you, dog. I'm surprised you taking part in this type of trolling of everybody else who didn't go. See people getting drunk in Sweden, having fun. It's going to be a whole generation of Ringer babies that happen.
Wow.
Because of what's going on in Sweden. So I tell you guys, just go to Sweden, have a good time. Never mind the contractors that didn't get a chance to go to Sweden, right? Go to Sweden, have a good time, and shut the fuck up about it. We don't want to hear it.
Next year, they're going to invite you, and you're going to be like, I don't want to go.
I don't want to go to
That's
Sweden.
the thing. You really don't want to go.
Oh. I should say this on the mic. Forget about Sweden. Guess what? Guess what I did?
What did you do?
That's what I did. This is what I did. So shout out to the people from Stars.
Mm-hmm.
They hit me up and they were like, hey, Van, would you like to come to London to preview the new Stars show, Fightland? Do a set visit. This is a show that 50 Cent is producing and all of that stuff like that. And I was like, they asked me to come. They want to go out there. And I said, I'll come out to London and do the Fightland stuff if Higher Learning can come out and do the Fightland stuff.
Oh, wow. That's really nice.
And they said yes.
Oh, wow. When are we going?
In late June. See?
I don't know about that.
See? It's tough.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm down.
Yeah. They were like, hey, it was like, yes.
Wow. I've never been to London. Wow, Van. Thank you.
Yeah. I was like, if
That's lit.
well, you're not going.
Damn.
Bernard. That's yeah, it's not. That's not what was going on. That's not what happened. So
Bernard was so excited. Bernard, you already went to Italy. Bernard, you had your Europe vacation.
I wish that I didn't have it.
I know. I saw.
Maybe
you should have said that privately.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Well,
next time, Bernard.
Taking caps off, but now stop learning. I'm Van Lathan Jr.
Do I still get the card?
I'm Rachel Lynn Lindsay. Bye.